And we are live yet again, but this time better than ever. That's loud for me. It's not loud for you, but it's loud for me. Better than ever because I used the right mic today. I didn't even realize until I try to watch my VODs back, but with the work streams, they're not really that interesting for me to watch, to be honest. I mean, the discussions and stuff are nice, but it's like, it's one of those, you gotta be there for it to really, like, matter. Anyway, regardless. Apparently, when I listened back, the audio sounded really compressed, and it, like, bothered me. I didn't know if it was my mic messing up or something, so I was like, fuck, do I gotta get a new mic? Turns out, I set the mic option in OBS to my dash cam. That's not what it's called. What's it called? My camera. It's a specific word for it, but I can't think of the word. And the mic on it, I didn't even know it recorded audio, to be honest. I guess that makes sense, but I didn't even think about it. And it started recording through it, so it sounded really cheap and low quality. And I was like, I've never had that problem with my regular microphone before, so I figured it out. It was just a technical error on my part. Very easy misclick. I mean, it's not horrible. You can still hear the audio, but also, like, the music in the background was low. I couldn't hear it either. So, yeah, the last stream wasn't my best, I'm gonna be honest. But I've done some test recordings today. It should be much better. It should sound better. You should be able to hear the music. That is actually copyright, so that's or not copyright, royalty free. That's what I need to say. Anyway, what we're actually here for today. Working. I've already kind of gone into the dock and done some things so far. Just, tidied up a couple. I noticed some errors when I was going through, so I just fixed them real fast, but I didn't do any, like, significant work like I'm planning to do right now, so I'm pretty sure we're gonna be able to finish Percy in, like, maybe, like, an hour or two. Obviously the streams run for about, not obviously, but the streams run for about usually 3 hours. I try not to stream longer than that because it's hard on my eyes. I get eye strain really bad, so if I go too long it starts to hurt. But damn, so much complaining today. But you know what I'm saying. Oh, I was hoping to read some, I know this sounds weird, but I wanted to read some threads that I've been seeing on Blue Sky and specifically Tumblr in regards to, like, writing advice or writing specific experiences, because I've just had really a lot of fun talking about those very specific things. So if you have some spare time, I'm sure that I'll probably go through and read them myself because I've been wanting to. So that sounds interesting. Then stay on by. Hopefully whatever you're doing, you'll have good luck getting a lot of stuff done. I'm a bit kind of, I don't know what the word is, sluggish today. I cleaned, like, the entire house before I actually started doing anything today, so I've been a busy bee since the moment I got up. But it needed to be done because a lot of cleaning. Oh, I didn't even turn on my tree. Oh well, it's fine. It doesn't need to be on right now. But I did a lot of cleaning because, again, hosting for Christmas, so I wanted to make sure that, got a clean space, all that kind of stuff. Also doing laundry, cleaning the bathroom, you name it, just all the fun stuff. Also started making my chili early today. So far so good. It's going to be cooking for, like, a long time. I might actually have to check on it, like, midway through the stream, so maybe just periodically, like, every hour. Every time I see, like, a Ko-fi notification is when I'll go and check it. That'll be if I can remember. That's the harder part. Sorry about not streaming yesterday. Not that I didn't want to, but again, I posted. I keep wanting to say tweeted. Blue Sky, we need a word. We need a word. It can't just be posted. That's too generic. Sorry. But I posted yesterday that we had a storm, and we did. We had a storm when we woke up, and I was scared that the internet might go out or something, and I didn't want to have any technical difficulties. And turns out it only stormed for, like, an hour or two, and, like, the internet was fine the entire time, so there was literally no need. But hey, whatever. I was still productive even though I didn't stream, and it was nice to have just a little bit of a break. Not that I don't love streaming, but sometimes, I don't know, I feel like I do way more prep work than maybe some people do when it comes to streaming, so it feels like an actual, like, taxing. It takes some energy out of me, where it's like, it's not just like, oh, I turn on the camera and then I do the thing. Like, I feel like in a way I have to perform, like, not necessarily perform, but you get what I mean. I can't just like sit here and just, you know, be on my computer all silent. Like, it's something that kind of bothers me, because nobody wants to watch a stream where you're just, well, I guess that could be relaxing, I don't know. It just depends. For me, I like streams where people are chatting, like, kind of the whole time, even when they're doing stuff. So, that's what I try to emulate with my own stuff. Music's really jazzy and funky today. The last music that we had was, like, lullaby bullshit, and I did not like it, so I'm glad to have changed it. John Johnman's here, the most important character that I've ever written for. And I can also recognize the songs that are playing. I don't even know if the songs that they were playing were like just Christmas feeling, but they weren't actually Christmas songs, or they were just such bad renditions of them that I couldn't even tell, you know. Could be either or both. I also did some road mapping yesterday for specifically like basically every month in 2025, but specifically like the first half of 2025 I really have kind of down pat in terms of like what I need to do, what projects I want to work on, you know, what goals and stuff I have set, that kind of thing, because I knew that I had like a lot of work ahead of me, like I always do, but like I didn't know how much work, so it was important to kind of jot it all down and get a sense of where I am and like in regards to, it's just good to see it all in front of you and to have it, because sometimes some things seem bigger than they are because they're stuck in your head, if that makes sense, at least for me. And we've got a busy year for 2025. I mean, 2024 was a big year, and I kind of had that feeling it was going to be, and, you know, I just feel like with every year I kind of have to, I don't know, maybe one-up myself, maybe? Like, just not necessarily do more work, but just, like, you know, just do new things and try to achieve things that I didn't do in previous years, you know. Granted, it would be fun to make, like, a game every month, but that would take a lot of planning on my end. It's definitely possible, but it would be very taxing, especially when, you know, life happens, that kind of thing. But I'm very excited. Like, I technically got 2 projects that'll be out, like, in January and February, like, very, very close to one another. One end of January, one mid-February, so, I'm excited. They're shorter projects, but that is no testament to their quality. Like, I genuinely think they're both incredible projects. Both not written by me, but they're written by close friends of mine, and I am very much involved in the actual production of the stories. So, which I'm enjoying. It's kind of interesting to, like, do that, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know why I'm being, again, so coy and secretive. Sometimes, I don't know if anybody else has this problem, but I, like, feel like everything's a spoiler when I'm working on something. Like, I don't want to say even, like, just stuff that would be, like, advertisement worthy. You know what I mean? Like, when Rectifier was happening, I didn't even want to reveal the guys. Like, I didn't even want to show them. But, like, that's counterintuitive, obviously, because it's like, how are you going to get people interested if you don't show them anything? And I just feel like everything's important to discover, like, as you play, that kind of thing. I think maybe that's why marketing is kind of hard for me, is I feel like everything is more important than it is. Exit John. No, John! Come back. Hi, Nedral. I kind of been talking into the void for a while, but hey, it'll be for the VOD watchers, you know what I mean? If they exist. Shout out VOD watchers if they're there. How are you today? What are we being productive on? Are we being productive? You don't have to. All because it's a work stream doesn't necessarily mean you have to work too. You can just vibe. There's nothing wrong with that. Half the time it's just good to have, you know, a conversational partner while you're working. Just body doubling. I was talking about how 2025 is going to be kind of a big year for me in terms of, like, not necessarily how many projects I'm writing, but just, like, I am being productive writing right now. Ooh, writing to a stream. I'm not the only one. I like to have some white noise in the background when I'm writing, which some people think is really weird, but I think it's tied to being in high school, where like, or even younger than that, like middle school as well, where people would talk in the background during class, and I think it would help me a lot with my own writing, or just like writing on the bus, things like that. I'm just glad we have some jazzy Christmas music today and not that sad lullaby stuff that was putting me to sleep last time. No, I was listening to straight up harsh noise albums to concentrate at one point. I get it, yeah. There's just something that, I don't know, maybe there's some science behind it. I don't know specifically what the science is, but I just know that it works for me. I love listening to people talk while I do things. Even sleep, which people are like, what? You know, but like, green. I'm gonna make that joke every single time I stream, aren't I? Shit. How many pages am I already done? Okay, 2. So it takes about 2 and 15 minutes. That feels okay. There's some math. I don't want to like suss it out too much. Apparently it takes close to like 3.5 streams, or maybe it takes about 4 streams to get through an entire 10k word route doing this. I can see it all over your face. That's Percy, and he should not be highlighted. I'll let you know my cat is standing in front of me and looks at the screen, which makes typing rough. Yeah, my cat sometimes jumps up here from time to time. Really, she likes to be on my lap, though, more so than on the keyboard, thankfully. That's not true. When I have a laptop, she's pretty bad about it. But on, I guess, the actual PC. But hello, kitty. What's your name? Who are you? Ta-da. Celine. She won't hear you. She's deaf. Oh, sweet baby. Well, hello to her in her own very specific way. You'll just have to give them pets for me. But her name is Gwiazda. It means star in Polish. That's very sweet. I probably, again, butchered the pronunciation, but it's a beautiful name when pronounced correctly. It wasn't the worst way to say it. Hey, I'll take it. We'll take mid-pronunciation over just horrible butchering any day. One day I might have to read out subs and things like that, and then I'm just gonna I'm just gonna have people be like, you know what, actually, I'm gonna unsub, actually. Bad pronunciation is something that really bothers me because my name is, I guess, complicated for some people, and when they mispronounce it, it literally, like, gets under my skin. So, I pet her from you, and she's purring now, by the way. Hell yes, we did it. Life is good. That's so sweet. Me and my husband, we wanted to foster, like, disabled and generally, like, old senior kitties. And basically just be, like, their last home before they die, that kind of thing. And I think we definitely could do that, but our current cat right now, she just is so anti-cat, it's almost impossible. You know, I don't want the cat to be beat up when they're here, you know, that kind of thing. She's kind of a she's a one cat kind of cat, even though we have technically 2 others, but one is always upstairs with my mother and the other is always with my sister. So with breakfast in hand, that's Percy, that was not MC. Territorial, yes, very, very much so, which, you know, yeah, because when it's dogs, she doesn't really care. She actually gets along with dogs way better than she does cats. And there was only one cat she ever kind of got along with, but, like, no one really knows why. It's still a mystery to this day, but they're funny like that, I guess. I'm more of a dog girly, so I know a lot more about how dogs function on average. I used to work at a dog sanctuary for, like, 3 years, and I don't know, cats are still an enigma to me, though. I do adore them very much. Da, da. I don't know what song this is. Oh, okay. Wait, no, I do. Come and... Oh, I butchered that. Oh my gosh. Come and adore him. Yeah. I'm way more versed in the way of cats than dogs. That's how my husband is. He is a cat connoisseur. He's the reason we have cats half the time, because he really doesn't tolerate many other animals, which is understandable. With our specific life, it doesn't work very well for having other animals. Like, I adore birds, and I would love to have a bird, but there's like just so many specificities to having a bird that I'm just not willing to learn and go through, so I just have to admire them from a distance. But I think birds are technically the coolest pet a person can have. I just think they're like the most fascinating animal like ever. They could just do it all, it seems. I also wanted to have a possum as a pet one time, and that I had to get rid of that idea because they live so short lives. I feel like I say this all the time. I could not survive birds. Yeah, just the noise alone is too much. Both my grandparents, both my abuelas, like, they had birds, and my abuela and abuelo specifically, they had an entire outdoor hut dedicated to birds, and it was just like almost like it's kind of like when you go to the zoo and they have those like sanctuaries for birds. They had that, and it was a lot of upkeep. I don't know why they dedicated so much time and stuff to it, but maybe they just love that birds that much. I don't know. Oh, I hate this organ. This is not it. This is not the vibe. I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to leave it, but this is not the vibe currently. I think I'm definitely going to have to get like some background music commissioned for the stream itself, because I think that would be really nice. Because I would just play like music for my own games, but I feel like most of them are like way too intense, or like specific vibes that we're just not going for right now. Like, one of them is completely summer themed, and I'm not trying to listen to a summer themed track right now. The only one that's always fitting seems to be TNT, but there's only so many tracks on that, and it would just get played out. It's already my intro thing for the stream starting, and my BRB screen, which I'm very happy about. But I was thinking about that in the shower earlier. I was like, I need to get some more background music, because they say royalty free on YouTube, but then like I'm scared that I'm just gonna get a copyright strike anyway because they lied. Yeah, that's the problem with soundtrack stuff. I don't know what other streams do. I think I saw a stream of somebody just listening to copyrighted music, but maybe it's like a country specific thing, or I don't know, maybe there was some loophole, like they were listening to covers or something. I don't know. But I was like, damn, that'd be cool. I can't do that. It's specific, very specific, and I don't know shit about it, which is probably my own problem. I'll just have to look into it at some point. I like the idea of having my own custom music, though. And then obviously playing games, I don't really have to worry about it, but, you know, we ain't playing games right now. Though I'm excited to. I talked about how I'm probably going to play more mainstream Otome stuff pretty soon. One, because I just really haven't played a lot of mainstream Otome, like, I don't think ever. The only ones I have are, like, mobile games. And if those count, then yeah, I've played a decent amount, but if they don't, then I basically never played a mainstream Otome game, like, ever. That's just an entire world I'm completely fascinated by, and I feel like I'd learn a lot about, I don't know, the people that I'm around, but while also, you know, learning more about how, you know, high budget visual novels function, and maybe can implement some of that into my own work, or, you know, just shit on it and stream, depending on how I feel. Because I do have a feeling I'm not gonna like some of them, and it's more comfortable to be able to, you know, not have to. I was saying that I was playing a lot of indie games on stream, which I love to do. I mean, I've had some of my best memories just playing indie games on stream, and I still plan to do so, but you can't really, like, be unadulterated in your opinions about them, because it's like, even if I don't like an indie game, I'm not gonna shit talk it, you know what I mean? Like, that's not the point of them existing, and nor is the creator, who could potentially find it for one, but also, like, you know, they're not necessarily looking for critique on it. So and I feel like I function better as somebody who, like, talks about media while I play it and, like, analyzing it and stuff like that, and I can't really do that with indie games in the way that I want to. So and also mainstream will probably get more viewership to the stream generally as well, you know, that's also a factor. Not that it's only about that. I obviously want to do things that I want to do, but, you know, it doesn't hurt to also make some sort of income back from it, especially to fund my games and things like that. Girls gotta eat. My confession is that I'm not very fond of dating sims and otome, and that it always feels like I'm an outsider in every VN space I enter. That's fair. I can completely understand why that would be, like, a hard thing, because I have a friend who, she doesn't even watch, like, anime or like, engage with, like, and to me visual novels are usually an extension of that, like, Japanese media on average, and a lot of people have either, you know, integrated some of that work into visual novels, but the longer you're here, you notice there's a lot of people who take, like, inspiration from, like, plays or movies, or, you know, they not everybody has completely, but for the people who enjoy visual novels, it seems like they're also, like, anime fans, or they enjoy, like, light novels or manga, or even, like, manhwa, and, you know, other types of media adjacent to that. So, and romance is, like, the best selling in, like, books as is, so I'm not surprised that dating sims and anything romantic or otome or in that same vein functions well and performs well in the visual novel space as well, even if it is a bit annoying, because, you know, there's a little lack of variety there at that point. Like, I'll still play them if they catch my eye, but I'm not going out of my way to engage with them. Yeah, that makes sense. Whereas, like, for me, I think dating sims are my favorite type of visual novel. Like, obviously it's not the only kind of visual novel, and I love kinetic ones, and I do like interactive fiction and stuff, but, like, if I had to choose, I'm definitely gonna sit down and play a dating sim 9 times out of 10. And that makes sense. And so it's kind of hard to, like, do what you want to do and then also make stuff that kind of gels with other people. You know, you kind of have to make a choice with yourself of which one you really want, or try to marry the two in some specific way. Because when I started, all I did was, like, kinetic novels and stuff, because for me that felt a little bit closer to, like, I wanted to be a novel writer, so I figured kinetic novels was my way of practicing in the game circle. And I also figured dating sims and things like that were too big for me to take on when I started. And now that I've moved into, like, bigger and more commercial projects and things that kind of appeal to the masses, quote unquote, I hate saying it like that, but I had a problem for a while where I mainly make queer fiction, and I feel like it doesn't perform as well as like, it doesn't perform as well as otome. And if I had only made, like, specifically otome games, or ones that could be played as otome games, not necessarily that they had to be purely otome, but that I would be doing better. And in some ways I've kind of been proven right, because that just seems to be the bigger audience. But, like, you know, you gotta do what you gotta want to do at the end of the day. I used to think that I have to make romance stuff or else nobody will play my stuff due to my exposure, was only basically dating sims and otome LMAO. And, you know, I'm not even gonna say you're entirely wrong. I think it definitely helps, like, a lot, because that's just what most people want to read. But that doesn't mean that there aren't a subsection of people who don't necessarily have to have romance in all their media. Like, I'm definitely on the fence of, like, I only write romance, but I don't only read romance. I think that's the difference. Like, I can enjoy things that aren't romantic in nature, but, you know, I definitely seek it out a lot because it's just something I enjoy. It sells. It's almost, I think somebody said, I don't know if the statistics still holds up, because I learned this, like, I don't know, 10 years ago, something. But somebody said that the romance genre, at least in terms of, like, novels specifically, and books, is, it outsells every other genre combined. Like, that's how, like, that's how different it is. Like it's in a league of its own. It can't even be compared to like, I think the only thing close to it maybe would be mystery. You know, mystery and horror does pretty well in the book section too, but everything else kind of struggles. Yeah, reading and writing are two different things. Absolutely. I don't think I could write something without romance. I think I would just lose interest. Maybe, and that just is a weakness of me as a writer, maybe. I don't know, but I just don't enjoy it. I don't know. It's not really my thing. I think also because there's so many different types of romance to explore, especially as a queer creator, you know, like, I feel like I don't think I'm ever going to come to a point where I'm just like, oh no, this doesn't need romance. But, you know, people definitely can pull it off. Like, some of my favorite media has no romance in it at all. Mostly anime, because I think anime does a very poor job at doing romance well, in my opinion. Like, I don't think it really can do it half the time. Not that it can't do it, period, but most of the time it's awful. Like, in my humble opinion. I'm only trying somewhat romance with my big project, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna fuck it up. No! I mean, it's true, people do have expectations or whatever, but I think as long as you, like, advertise it in a way, what am I trying to say? Because, like, I know people who are, like, romance purists, but some people want, like, NSFW out of their romances, some people want, you know, pure fluff, some people want, you know, like, I think people might get upset if, like, they read a romance and there's just, like, no kissing at any point. Funny story, earlier this year, come January, not to put Cube on the spot, but I think this is a good, I worked with Cube and Rachel on Carnival of Shadows for, Max's project, and it is a romance game, it's a dating sim about vampires and stuff, but one of the routes has no kissing in it, and Cube was very insistent that it shouldn't, you know, and that, you know, it doesn't make it any less of a romantic route because there is no kissing presented or whatever, like, the romance is there still. And they were debating whether or not they should just, like, do it anyway, you know what I mean, just to satisfy the audience, and we were like, no, you need to do what you want to do, like, it needs to reflect what you want. And to me, I think it's almost stronger if you can depict a romance without leaning on like the easy romance trappings, I guess. Like, sex isn't romance, kissing isn't romance, you know what I mean? Romance is romance. There are 1,000 ways to depict it, and it's too easy to just, like, fall on the crutch, basically. So, you know, of course you're always going to have the naysayers and things like that, but in my humble opinion, I think there's a strength to trying to do it in a way that nobody else does it, and not doing it in the way that's, like, is the quote-unquote way, because there are rules in writing, but there are always rules that can be broken. It's about vibes for me, to be honest. Absolutely. I used to be a huge shipper, so I used to make romance out of fucking nothing. So, you know, like, and there's stigmas with people who ship and stuff like that, but it's like, I'm used to working with nothing. I'm used to reading in between the lines. Hi, Gray. We're talking about writing romance. But no, I think there's definitely an argument to be made that certain types of games will always just kind of, like, have a higher chance of doing well, you know, just like, I mean, that can be said for anything, though. I remember, like, writing fan fiction, and, like, you know, there are just certain types of fan fiction that people will gel towards more so than others. Doesn't make one greater or lesser. It's just, you know, some people just really are fond of very specific things and will keep re-eating the same thing over and over again, because it never really gets old. If canon doesn't give you a satisfactory shipping, homemade is fine. Absolutely. That's what it was built for. I was really big on that. You know what, and going back to what I said, that's why I think that anime is, like, I don't seek romance from anime media at all. My favorite type of anime is shonen, almost exclusively. Like, that's the only genre I seem to really gel towards, and all my favorite shows fall under that category, with seinen as kind of, like, the second. And I don't know, maybe it's because they just take it more seriously, I don't know what, but, like, every time I watched an anime romance, most of the time it's, like, almost very childish, or there's just, like, it does not deliver, like, strongly enough, like, it's way too subtle in a way that's just not fun for me, or it's just, like, I think childish is probably the main one, which sounds meaner than it is. It's just very adolescent. Like, and to be fair, a lot of anime focuses on just like being in high school, and for me, high school romance does nothing for me. I don't get anything out of that whatsoever. It's just, and I'm sure some people still love high school romance, and that's great, and whatever, young adult fiction, but keep that away from me. I don't want it. Carefully leans over microphone. Toxic Yuri. A good one. Yeah, badly done or childish romance is such a mood killer for me, not gonna lie. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because when I started running the Polyjam that I'm doing, a couple people were getting up in arms that I specified that the romance needed to be between adults, and they were like, "Oh, what? The teenagers can't be poly?" And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm not saying that. I was a teenager who was poly, just didn't know it. You know what I mean? So clearly that's not true, and I don't believe that. However, I don't want to read stories involving underage people. Sorry." You know, like, not even in like a weird or bad way. Like, even if it was a healthy, good young adult thing, I don't want to read it. Sorry. And they were just like really trying to argue that fact really hard, and I was like, dude, it is not that deep, I promise. Just run your own jam, you know, go crazy. It's free, don't you know? But like, I also hate, and this is like a very specific thing to me, I think, and in fan fiction, like I would put down a fan fiction if this had it in it, was I hate the trope of like somebody losing their virginity in the story. Not because it's like unrealistic or bad or anything like that. It's just, it's way too intimate for me to a point where it feels like wrong. You ever like, you experience something in media that's like, it's so intimate, you're like, I shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? Like this isn't something I should see. You know what I mean? And I think that's a perfect example of that. Like, and that's a very clear example because it has to do with sex, but like, even other things like that, it's just like, this is too much. This is too real. This is too raw for me. And I'm happy for people who enjoy that trope. I just cannot stand it. And I remember like what was that? I think I just dropped it. I don't think I told the author. I don't think I would have told them. But I remember kind of feeling weird about it at the time, like why I was so bothered by it. But I think it's like the intimacy was just a little too potent for me. The problem I have with those scenes is that they're often so weirdly fetishized. That's true. Specifically, now the one that I was talking about was a queer fanfic, so maybe this, I don't think that necessarily applied, but from straight media, I've definitely seen it, specifically in like, you know, adult books, the like, you know, the big ones, like A Court of Rose and Thorns or things like that. I haven't read that book, so I don't know, but books like it basically do have sex scenes, and then the guy like sees it as like some like powerful thing that he was able to like take their virginity, and I just find that kind of gross. It's like it's not like hot. Nothing about losing your virginity is hot in my opinion, and maybe somebody will disagree and that's on them, but like it just I don't know, I'm good. I could do without it, to be honest. But yeah, I think fetishes, I think that's just like a toxic male thing. I mean, not always, but often it is. Will Joy get herself in trouble on stream today? Maybe. Maybe. Hot fiction takes. My favorite thing to do is make something go wrong when that first time scene yeah, because that's just realistic. Because you could plan it, you could do all the research and something's gonna go wrong. It takes, like, I mean, I'm not gonna be that real on stream, but, you know, just based off my own personal experience, you know, like, it takes a while before things are, like, as good as they're depicted in media. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm sure some people might pick it up quicker, and that's great for them, but it's like the whole point of like an intimacy between partners or multiple partners is that you have to kind of learn that person, and they have to learn you, and like that's, you know, that's why it's good. That's when things like go the way that they're depicted. And of course it's fiction, so it's like if they want to have, you know, firework type sex from day one, then they can do that, you know what I mean? But it's just not realistic. I think that's why my favorite type of like sex that's depicted in media is between people who are just like older and more experienced, or like specifically like a couple who, you know, you flash forward in time and it's kind of already said that they've been intimate multiple times, so when you do like see their sex scene, you know, it makes a little bit more sense why they're good at it and things are good. That's that, you know. Yeah. Hey everyone. Hi chat. I was reading my chat trying to figure out where I was. I always get mixed up. I don't know when sometimes the words scramble. How are we today? What are we doing today? Again, nobody has to be productive. I didn't even ask Gray. I'm so sorry, Gray. What are you doing today? What's everybody doing today? Hello? Wait, did I miss a line up here? I might have to check this. Nope, I didn't. Okay, we're good. I'm working on my master's thesis. Okay. I love how Chime's always doing like these like incredibly important tasks during my work streams. This is a lot of pressure. You know, what if you do a bad job and then it's like it was because of the joy stream all along? You know what I mean? It's okay, you can use me as an excuse to whomever you submit it to if things just go wrong. Just be like, hey, I would have done a better job, but this lady's kind of crazy that I was watching and she distracted me, and, you know, you could send them a link and then I'll personally apologize to them. Give you some leniency. That's how that works, right? You can tell I went to college longer than 3 months. Not you adding to the pressure. How am I adding to it? No, I'm the one being pressured here. I'm giving you leniency. Joy ate my master's thesis on stream, no clickbait, 100% real. Exactly. So, I'm like a dog. I'm the dog that ate your homework. I'm okay with that. There are worse things to be in life than a dog. This is going to be a good thesis, so no need for excuses. I know it's going to be good, but I just like, I don't know. You know, you're right. Yes, like a cat. No cat slander on the Joy stream. I have a cat. I love my cat. She's my whole heart. When I thought I lost her, I was devastated. To be fair, I didn't know how much I loved my damn cat until I almost lost her. Like, I was a wreck. I was inconsolable. To be fair, though, she was raised by dogs, and I do think that adds to it. Chim's gonna slay the thesis. Manifesting. Exactly. That's what I said originally. I didn't say any of that other stuff. Don't clip any. End of RGB. And I'm gonna finish this on stream. And I'm gonna get all my stuff done in a good time, and everybody's going to have an easy, painless work session today, okay? I mean, it's about Hippolytus and Phaedra, so if there's one book I know more than anything, yeah, this is gonna be a breeze. Just send them your game. There you go, that's my thesis. You kind of did already submit one of your games to help with, like, an application or something, right? If I'm remembering correctly. LMAO, bold of you to think I know how to clip. That's so real. Gray, I want to apologize to you if you're listening, that you clipped a couple things from some, like, more recent streams, and I guess I have to, like, manually put them on my Twitch channel, and I just haven't done it. I'm so sorry. So when I get the time, I'll figure out how to put them and display them, because I do appreciate you clipping parts of my stream. You're gonna do well with it. I also don't know how to clip, so lol or LMAO even good. Nothing about what I say can be taken out of context. Let's go. Yes, exactly. I put the 3 games of TS trilogy in my application since there was an artistic portfolio. I mean, that counts. That fucking counts. I got one of my first writing jobs based off of just doing fan fiction. So, you know, it counts. It's work. People can undermine it and undervalue it all they want, but, you know, that doesn't make it any less art. So, I mean, I making a game is harder than publishing a book, I think. One day I'll be able to tell you, but like, because I do want to publish a book eventually. That is a goal that I have. But from what I know and from people who I've spoken to who have published books, it does not sound nearly as complicated as like putting a game on Steam or any more complicated than that. You know what I mean? Like, it just has a lot of steps. But so does writing a book. Art is when you're vibing. Absolutely. Tattoo that on my damn forehead. My art is completely vibes based. I mean, that has been proven time and time again. To be fair, I also put excerpts from my actual theater, but I was like, this will prove I am fascinated about Phaedra, though I did precise in my motivation letter that I knew I wasn't pursuing a degree in Phaedrology. Is that a real thing? Or did you make that up just now? I wouldn't be surprised if it was a real thing. Phaedrology. Okay, I'm assuming it's not a real thing, but I'm gullible enough to think it was. Nope, it isn't. Okay, well, it should be. How about that? Where am I in the script? Okay, I'm in the CG scene. I was like, where the hell am I? What's going on? Where's that sound bite from? Oh my god. I watched this stream yesterday of somebody watching these old cartoons, specifically like Christmas specials of old cartoons, and there was this one about like a boy who had a lisp and he works as like an orphan, like an underpaid orphan in like a factory, right? And they build robots because this is like in the future, and he has to take back this one robot for his boss because it's malfunctioning. Basically the robot gets everything backwards, so they'll like mop the curtains and they'll like sweep the, you know, they'll just do shit that they're not supposed to do, and they get everything mixed up, and sometimes they even, it's like a cute little quirk that they have. And so this boy takes the broken robot and goes and to return them, but like at the last moment is like, oh no, I don't want to return you, and goes to save it, but then they get like stuck in like this robot junkyard with all these other broken robots. And I was like, this is banger. Like the only thing that was holding it back was like the animation, obviously, because it was made like 2003, and it's like a TV show, it's not Pixar, so like it wasn't great, and it was a little freaky at times, like some of the character designs or whatever, but the voice acting, the writing, like the setting, and like the actual pacing of everything, I was like, this is eating, like this is really good. Me and my husband were really enjoying it and laughing. And then all of a sudden it took like a crazy turn. No, disclaimer, I'm not religious, and if you are religious, this is nothing against religion. I used to be very religious, so I understand. However, this took a crazy turn, and look, I should expect this because it was Christian media, but like, they go and they're walking through the desert, and at one point they're like, we need to follow the star, but it's like a red star, and I think it's like a drone or something in the distance. It's not actually a star, but they follow it to get out of the desert, and they make a joke of like, we've been stranded for like 45 minutes, and I was like, oh, okay, so cool. They made like a little allusion to the story of baby Christ. Cool, you know, that's not crazy or anything. It's a Christmas special, that makes sense. And then they find the red star, and they find this old ass robot, and he has like a country accent and everything, and he's like an old head, and he like hides away, and he's like, kids, get off my lawn, you know, like this whole stuff. And then this old robot like tells the story of Christ, like actual baby Christ that's depicted, and these robots start converting to Christianity all of a sudden. And the craziest part of this is that like up until this point, like they had like little musical numbers, and the theme so far was like the boy has a lisp, and like all these robots are like broken in some way, you know, but they like still function, and you know, they just function differently, that's all. And then it became like a completely ableist thing, because they were like, oh, we're broken and Christ can put us back together, he can make us better, he could fix all our broken parts, you know. And I was like, this is not at all where I thought this was going. It took like a complete 180. And up until that point, the chat, because keep in mind, I was watching a stream, okay, of somebody watching this, and chat was like really vibing with this whole thing up until this point, and then all of a sudden the Christianity came in like hot, and then the ableism set up. Like the Christianity was one thing, like okay, that's not really everybody's thing, but like again, Christmas special. But then when they were like, oh, we can fix ourselves, it reminded me, it gave me flashbacks to when we had to like pray a girl's stutter away in my youth group. And I was like, I can't do this. This is no. And it's so sad because it's like I'm telling you, the voice acting ate the you know, the story, the jokes, like everything was so funny and like creative, and I was like, this would be such a good modern thing. Like, this is aged really well. Nope. No, it did not. Completely threw away all its potential in like one scene. It was insane. It's really bad. I looked at my husband and I was like, damn. It's like, this is such a shame. You know, like they were so close. And it's funny because I saw a TikTok later on, and this didn't mean to get into a political or religious thing, because that's the worst thing to talk about on stream, but whatever, fuck it. It reminds me of a TikTok that I saw last night, like after this had happened, and they were saying that conservative art never works because they don't explore questions. All they're trying to do is push you towards one specific answer, you know? And I was like, that makes so much sense, because I've never seen like a super conservative Republican or like Christian specific, and I'm only doing this from the context of an American thing. I'm sure there are other, you know, narrow-minded religious groups who also cannot make good art for these exact same reasons, but they don't explore anything. They like, the reason why I think the only thing that performed well for them was God Is Not Dead, but that was because it was like sort of a debate, and like a lot of people wanted to see what the Christian arguments were going to be, but then again, they never actually tackled the arguments presented, so it just fell flat, and they like, you know, you get it. You've seen some conservative media. Same thing with comedy. I had disabled Android and Robot Graveyard in my D&D setting, so I'm kind of laughing right now. It's a good way of allegory, like, I think that's a good allegory for, you know, disabled people, because, like, the robots represented different, like, disabilities. Like, one was, like, she can do, like, 8 things at once, but she couldn't focus on anything, so she was, like, the ADHD robot. And then there was, like, a narcissist robot, and there was one robot who had, like, severe anxiety, and I was like, oh, this is dope. They're gonna learn how to, like, deal with their perspective things, but not fix them, not like just wave it away like it's not a thing, like learn to live with them. What the hell? And then the main kid had a lisp, and I was like, is he gonna wish that Jesus got rid of his lisp? What are we doing? Yes, that's why conservative art doesn't work. It doesn't. Yes, instead of exploring an issue, it's propaganda. Yeah, just plain and simple, because it has to lead you to an outcome and not anything. Yeah, and it's never going to challenge its own ideals. It's too, like, egotistic. Like, if you believe you're right and this is the only thing, like, that's not interesting really for anybody to read. And I think it's like, it's weird because, you know, obviously leftists and people who aren't conservative do have like strong morals and ideas that they're putting forward, but like, I don't know, maybe it just doesn't come off as like pushy, maybe, I don't know, it just like exists and you can kind of just take it for what it is. I don't know, like, it's very interesting. Praying the disability away is the most insane thing I've ever heard. It's a thing. It happens so often. And I used to think it was normal because I was in youth group. And I think back on that now and I'm like, this is fucked. It's crazy, dude. Like, so yeah, thank you, Robot Christmas Special, for giving me religious drama yet again. It's very much an American thing. Absolutely, rings 100% true. It's such a shame, you know, it really is, because I was not like, when I saw the baby Jesus, I wasn't like, baby Jesus ruined this, you know. I didn't feel that. Like, sure, it's a weird thing to put in a post-apocalyptic robot story for children, but who am I to say, you know what I mean? But like, it just stuck like a crazy, it was kind of funny in its way to laugh, to keep from like having an existential crisis. But I mean, it didn't perform well. Nobody remembers this goddamn thing. I think that was the other thing too, is that conservative media it has no lasting power. It will never be like an iconic thing. It will never be a staple in media for that reason either. Nobody's ever going to build off of it in the way that other media is built off of. It's spilling into other places, but you know, yeah, BRB, take your time. Like, I had a stutter as a child. I managed to get rid of it, and that was because my mother would bring me to a speech therapist, and I guess it mustn't have been very deep, but the idea of praying it away, yeah, they thought that was the only way to fix it. in my opinion, it's not something that even needs to be fixed. Like, my brother was born with a speech impediment, and he could not talk for he could not talk well, let's say it this way. He could not speak very well for the first 4 or 5 years of his life. And it wasn't until his kindergarten teacher, like, sat with him and, like, had patience with him that he was able to talk properly. Because they thought he was going to have to get a surgery done and, like, all this different stuff. But no, it just takes patience and time. But if that didn't happen, and he just had to live his life as somebody with a speech impediment, that's also okay. There's just, like, this general idea that, like, people who have disabilities have to just, it's either fix it or die, it seems like, which is crazy. So there, I've had to learn how to live with my, like, panic disorder and stuff. Like, it's not an easy thing to do, but it doesn't mean it's not worth doing. It just, I don't know. It's crazy shit, man. And it's so harmful, too, because it means nobody's actually taking any steps to help, like, treat it. They just want to cure it. That's it. And it's like, treatment is still good. Like, there are chronic illnesses out there that will never be cured. Like, diabetes can't be cured. It just has to be treated. And, like, it's fine. You can live a full, healthy, good life that way. And it's crazy to insinuate otherwise. I have returned. An incredible way to return. Yes, exactly. Like, I start speaking at 5 years old, so quite similar too. That's why I find that crazy. Just take care of your child instead of making them feel like they're a problem. Crazy idea, I know. And it's funny too, because it's like, a lot of people in my specific town, I can't speak for the world, but I'm sure this is resonant, is that a lot of people are more scared of their child being autistic than, like, them being gay or something. As if, like, it's just care about your kid. That's it. It's a really simple fix. I've lived with a lot of autistic people in my life of different severities on different parts of the spectrum. It's a very common thing, whether people want to acknowledge it or not, and it's like my husband's younger sister has Down syndrome, and it's like, she's really no different from any other fucking kid. Like, if anything, in some ways, she's just like, I want to say this in a hot, like, weird way. She's just, like, easier to take care of because she knows what she wants. You know what I mean? Like, she has very specific things that work for her, and, that's it. She's also nonverbal, which not every child with Down syndrome has that. But she learns how to communicate in her own very specific way. She can read and write and stuff, I mean, does she want to all the time? Hell no. But, like, it's not that deep. It's not that scary. I think people, like, stigmatize them to this point where, like, it's something, they just don't get it. So they assume it's, like, hard or difficult or terrifying or hurtful or something. And it's, like, it's just really none of those. Sorry, I was taken back by somebody singing. I didn't sign up for people singing. Give me the instrumentals. I'm gonna have to probably replay. You see what I'm doing? There's probably a better way to play royalty-free music on my stream, and one day I'll figure it out. But for right now, YouTube. I'm putting my faith in it. I used to tell my mom the only way that I knew how to do things half the time was because I had a YouTube tutorial. If I didn't have a YouTube tutorial, you're out of luck. Yes, exactly. The other day I saw a video of a mother explaining how she was dealing with her daughter who was autistic and nonverbal, and, like, seeing how much love she had for her daughter made me cry. Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, even if you have an able-bodied child, there are parents who just don't care enough to deal with just, like, their emotions, yet alone a physical disability or a mental disability. So it really is just dependent on if you're just a good parent or not. That's really all it boils down to, which is sad. Because it's, I don't know. Like, I used to think taking care of kids was scary and stuff, and in some ways it is, and, like, obviously you have to be but the only thing you really have to do is just be patient and attentive. I think those are the two most important ones, and to care, You don't sign up for a perfect experience when you become a parent. Like, you're making a whole separate human. Exactly. Like, you yourself are not perfect at all yet, so why would you ever expect your child to be? Which seems like common sense, but apparently not. I mean, same goes for animals and things like that. A lot of people should not... There should be, like, a license that you have to get before you become a parent, I think. Like, you have to have a license to do so many other things. And raising a human being has got to be one of the more difficult tasks that you can do as a human being. and yet anybody could just do it. No qualifications needed. Like, I did some babysitting, and I really hadn't babysat at all before this year, because my brother had a child, and he's 1 year old, and he's my nephew, who I adore. I love this little boy so much, and I took care of him for a couple months, and, like, for hours and a day, and it's just, like, a wonderful thing to witness, like, a child growing up, and them developing a personality and seeing how smart they really are and what they're capable of. It's just like, it's a wonderful thing to pay witness to. But in that same vein, it's also very taxing, okay? It's a very tiring thing. And that was just me as an unemployed person taking care of a kid for set hours in a day who could give it back to their parent. You know what I mean? So imagine I don't have that. I go to work, I come home, take care of a child, have this, have that. Then it's like, that's going to cause a lot of issues, and I can see how parenting goes wrong 90% of the time in some ways. Like, even the best of parents, like my mom, who I see as a great parent, she had a lot of struggles as well, so I can't even imagine people who are, less great parents as her, deal with that. Children tire me out, so I can't imagine having one for like 18 plus years. Yeah, I'm in the vein right now where I don't think I want to have a biological child. I think my heart is in fostering. I think I want to be a parent, but I don't want to be a mother, I want to take care of a kid. I want to give them the tools to survive, but I don't want to generate a new child to give them all these experiences and to pass down my own mental illness and stuff onto. I'm good. They don't need that. Joy, stop it. I also want this. I might cry if I talk about it for too long, because it's like my heart's calling. Exactly the same thing, fostering instead of creating kids. I don't even want to adopt. I want to foster a child. I don't care if they're a teenager or 5 years old or anywhere in between. And siblings, taking in a bunch of siblings at once would probably be the ideal. That's where my heart's at. And that's what my husband also wants to do, because he doesn't want to be a dad, a biological dad either. There was this case of a woman who murdered her 2-year-old son because he had a very specific illness, which she deemed made him suffer so much death was better than life. And yeah, she got to make that decision. Awesome, great. Waited the statutory limitation was over to publish a book entitled I Offered Death to My Son. And she was like, for example, he wasn't autonomous at all. And I was like, oh my god, your 2-year-old son isn't autonomous. Kill him, I guess. Yeah. Don't give him to somebody else. Don't try to figure it out. Don't try to give him a fucking chance. Yeah, that's her ego talking. That's her trying to come to terms with doing a very horrible thing. So great. Love Casey Anthony Part 2. I know there are 1,000 Casey Anthonys and things like that. I used to listen to a lot of true crime at my last job, which started to take a toll on my mental health, because some of the things people will do instead of just take responsibility or just be honest with other people is insane. I don't know how people can murder a person before they'll have a conversation. I don't know why one seems more doable than the other. It's actually wild. I'm not having a biological child. The very thought makes me feel a bit, understandable. I completely sympathize with it. I have a whole game that kind of explores that at this point. It's a very potent topic. I feel like there are just as many people who don't want to have kids as people who do, and then there's people like me who kind of fall in the middle of if I had a kid, I would just kind of buckle down and do it. You know what I mean? But I know that how much of I feel like I'm a little selfish in the sense of I just want my life. I don't want to have to, I won't be able to make games or stream or do the things that I want to do, with a kid on my hip. You know what I mean? It's something I need to mentally prepare myself for long periods of time. I imagine if I got pregnant tomorrow, I would just spend the next 9 months, planning out how I'm going to make this child fit into my life, because they would be my type priority. They would be I could not just set them to the side as if they're just something else. They would have to come before everything else, and I'm not willing to make that sacrifice right now, unless I had no choice, you know what I mean? But that's just taking responsibility. I don't think that's a crazy thing. Like, but apparently it is. Apparently it's wild. Listen, too much true crime totally messes up something in your brain, not gonna lie. Absolutely it does. Not that we can't report on like real things that happen. I do think true crime has a place, but I think it needs to be a lot more clinical and sterile than some people present it as. Does that make sense? Like, I think, like, I really cannot stand true crime channels who, like, do their makeup while they're doing it, or, like, they get kind of excited and giddy at the thought of true crime, or, like, get some sort of, like, dopamine, or, like, they pick certain crimes that are more important than other ones, that kind of idea, like, that's sensationalizing it, exactly. Like, I've had to completely avoid that. I think some people are pretty good at, like, you know, finding the comedy in like how stupid a criminal is and then paying proper respects to victims and things like that, but it's just like, it's way, you have to have responsibility when you do it. Like, I do think you could do it, but you have to be responsible. Like, you can't just get on your little camera and be like, oh my gosh, you're talking about my favorite serial killer today. Holy shit, this is my favorite case. Like, it's that meme of people being like, imagine dying in like a horrible way, and then somebody deems that your story is just not as interesting as other stories because you didn't die in this like really specific way. Like, fuck off. That's actually crazy. You know, like, it's so terrifying. Okay, sorry, I missed a couple chats. That's not selfish, lol. The selfish thing would be to have a child if you're not ready to raise someone. I agree. Oh yeah, some people sensationalize true crime too much. Yep. Get ready with me while I talk about somebody getting dismembered. It's insane. At some point, there were true crime videos about some of my family members. Those closer to them asked my daughter, since she's just obdurish, to write a legal letter threatening suing if the video doesn't get deleted. Eee. That's, God. I can't even imagine being a family member and just, like, clicking on a fucking YouTube video. It's just some girl putting on her fucking makeup. Look, and I don't want to say it's just those specific people either. You know, I'm not being like, oh, women can't put on makeup, women can't have hobbies. I'm not saying that. Yeah, I'm sure there are also, like, male podcasts. I just don't really listen to them. So, like, I'm sure they also do it in bad ways, you know. But, yes, people sensationalize and make it kind of their personality that they like true crime. I also admire true crime. Because I feel like it teaches you like proper ways to deal with like if somebody's stalking you, what can you do in order to like help that? What gives you the best chance? Like, you know, if you're, you know, falsely committed for something, how do, like, learn from history, that kind of idea. I see it as more of like a history thing. Like, this is a thing that happened, you know, can we learn from this in some clear way? And also, I mean, and also it's just interesting. McDonald's mukbang when I talk about the brutal murder of 34 people. It's like, we're laughing about it, but it's like, it's so common. It's unfortunate. There are a lot of good podcasts and stuff out there, though, that I've listened to who I feel like do the proper... I think my favorite ones are, like, specifically journalists who are outside the actual... Like, they're not cops, they're not lawyers or anything like that, and they are people who are reporting on it and trying to find answers because the cops are whether, like, not willing to do it, or to, like, pour resources into it and stuff. Or, like, you know, they're not connected to the crime, so they really have nothing to gain outside of just, you know, learning the truth and helping some of the people that they've actually met in person. Like, I think there was there was one specific crime that was actually solved, and, like, the person was finally, like, committed because this, like, podcast dude, like, got as involved as he was in it, and he was able to, like, dig up an old cold case and get justice for this family that had been mourning for, like, 20 years or something. Like, it is possible to do a good thing, and I do believe that there is a place for it, but it's like, again, those are far and few between, and it's too easy for somebody to just come on and, like, not take it seriously just because they find it fun or interesting. Like, it's like, we all do, but they, like, have respect. Oh yes, there was one woman and one man, lol, so pure 50-50, and yes, true crime can be interesting, but we have to remember, we're speaking about actual victims, so it's not something that we should rejoice. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And it's like, and if you, like, are so fascinated with that, you know what I mean? Like, just explore that in fucking fiction. Like, just simp for those serial killers who are fictional. Simp, you know, no one was hurt in the making of that. You know what I mean? Like killing dating sims and things like that. Like, I've enjoyed those in the past. I think one of my favorite games is that type of game. You know what I mean? Where it, like, does death as, like, a fun end state, and, like, you know, there there is a way to enjoy it. Killer Chat, my beloved. It's actually not Killer Chat. For me, I think it was Boyfriend to Death or something like that. It was a while ago. And then Perfect Apocalypse, which I'm not going to talk about because the furry allegations I'll never be able to escape. The worst thing is when they literally don't care about the victims and just go about the killer for 50 minutes just to go, yeah, and the victims existed too, I guess. Yeah, I'm sorry, I just played recently. I can't shut up about it. No. I meant like, I hadn't played it, so that wasn't what I was specifically talking. No, I mean, it was. Like, though I'm sure those are the same kinds of games. I'm just saying that I wasn't speaking like that was my favorite game. You get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. But no, you're allowed to talk and gush about whatever project speaks to you. Let's not forget about the masterpiece in the genre, My Dream Date with a Yandere Serial Killer. Everybody's favorite. And they're making a Christmas special. Oh shit. Okay, I do like a Christmas special just in like any genre, really. Comment CJ start. Dude, Perfect Apocalypse I love so much. That was like one of the first visual novels that I ever played on itch, and I'll love it forever. It's so important to me. And I'm not really like a horror fan or something, so like I just kind of stumbled upon it. But you know what? Changed my life for the better. I do like dark content. I've come to that realization that I do, but because I'm an empath. No. But like, just because I think I put myself in the shoes of people too much, it's really hard for me to like stomach or to engage with something for long periods of time like that. Like, exactly, like Our Wonderland. Like Our Wonderland actually took like, it was physically exhausting at times for me. Like I had to like prepare myself mentally, and the ending of like Act 1 to this day still like haunts me in a way, you know what I mean? Like the gore and stuff doesn't really do anything for me. I'm not scared of spiders, and that's, you know, I think that stuff's kind of cool in its own way, you know, body horror, all that stuff, but like the actual psychological aspect of it really fucks with me, so I have to be careful not to engage with dark media for too long because it will trigger my panic disorder, and I don't want all that, you know? So, but I've gotten better with it. And it was helpful to do it on stream, I think, too. I still didn't play the last act, and I need to. Absolutely you do, but, like, no rush, because it's not going anywhere. And it kind of, it hurts. It hurts. But, like, in a good way, you know? It's a good hurt. I like a good hurt. I love hurt comfort. I think that's one of my favorite genres of, like, fan fiction or media, or, you know, I really strive to make more hurt comfort specific media. The spider egg scene was one of the rare times I actually physically gagged when reading something. See, I don't have a weak stomach. I mean, not to be like, you have a weak stomach. It's just like, that part of horror has never bothered me. Like, things don't gross me out. Like, okay, the things that really gross me out are like spit related. I know that's so weird. Like blood, okay, you know, guts, sure, whatever. Even like urinary feces, things like that, like, yeah, gross, but it's not like, but I cannot stand spit. Spit bothers me in a way that's like, it's it hurts me. It hurts me to think about it. Joyce, I'm triggered by anything spit related. Stop, Chive. We are never escaping the allegations. How many years are we in now? I don't have a weak stomach either. I was raised on MLP creepypastas. Hell yeah. My friends are all like big creepypasta heads. I was not really, but they would always try to like integrate me in some way, so I enjoy it from a very out of the box perspective. One of my friends is like obsessed with Slenderman, and my other one was obsessed with Jeff the Killer. See? Yeah, fuck true crime, just like simp for Jeff the Killer like everybody else, okay? We're not twins, we're clone. That's okay. I always like, I love the question when you ask somebody if they're like, what would you do if you met your clone? I would just be best friends with mine. I think some people worry that they would have like an existential crisis and like try to kill them. There can only be one. But for me, I just like, no, let's just hang. Let's have a book club or something. It could be fun. Honestly, you could just live my life. I'm good. We're chill about it. I'm not doing anything that important. I'm a Gemini. I'm made for having a clone. Joking. No, you're real. I love a Gemini. I'm a Sagittarius, so which might fill in like we're obnoxious. Because honestly, because I think me and I would be very good friends. I do too. We'd have a lot to talk about. We have a lot in common. We'd just be yapping each other like night away, that kind of thing. Sag moon here. See, I'm a Gemini rising. I'm a Taurus moon, but I'm a Gemini rising. So I vibe, we vibe. I don't know why I like my earth signs. My husband is pure earth sign. He is Taurus, Capricorn, Capricorn. I don't know how I'm compatible with that, but we really gel. I don't know. Like, he's insane. Ooh, okay. Gemini sun, Sag moon, Libra rising. Lots of air in there. Honestly, Sag is almost kind of air in its own way, if that makes sense. Like, you give off the vibes. Lol, I'm an Aries, and people always tell me, you're a fake Aries. No, you definitely ring true to Aries. Aries is actually my favorite, like, zodiac sign that's not my own. Because I love fire signs. I think fire signs are great. With air is, like, a close second. And, I don't know, earth and air kind of fight, and then water, I'm like, I could care less about. Sorry, water signs, I don't mean it. But I love Aries so much. There's something so real and raw about it. Like, I think Aries are, like, the purest form of people, if that makes sense. And to me, authenticity is the most important thing a person can be. So, like, even if you're, like, a piece of shit, I'd rather, like, I think for me is, like, I just like to know where I stand with people. I like when there's no, like, guessing games or anything like that. Like, I just want to know exactly what kind of person this person is. Even if they're a bad person, I just want to know. There's something kind of admirable about it. Unfortunately, you do share a sign with Donald Trump, though, and I'm sorry about it. But you know what? I share a sign with Jay-Z, so that's not great either. You know, we all share signs with people that aren't the greatest. Me and Tyra Banks have the same birthday. Same thing as Jay-Z. We all have the same birthday, and it's like, why does everybody who has my birthday is like an awful person? What the fuck? Wait, not the Donald Trumps. Is his birthday? Wait, I think his birthday might be April 4th. I don't actually know. But we're about to find out. Oh, the suspense. Nah, you got saved. Wait. He's a Gemini. I misremembered. I'm so sorry, Narelle. I'm sorry you had to find out like this. Day before me? No fucking... Wait, whose birthday is on April 4th? This is work. I mean, no really standout bad people so far, so... Alexander Savior's got her birthday on 14th of June, so that's fine by me. Works. I watched a stream of somebody playing the new Life is Strange game, Double Exposure. My only exposure to the Life is Strange series is via the stream. So, like, I've experienced it, but only via the streamer, okay? So, he started playing Double Exposure, which came out this year, and apparently, like, the main plot starts on my birthday. Like, all the crazy shit that goes down is on my birthday, and there's something really weird about that to me. Like, I don't think I've ever, like, picked up media where, like, so much stuff happened on my, like, birthday, but okay. Fuck it. And I was gonna say a spoiler, but, you know, in case you care about Life is Strange, I won't say it. His birthday's on April 4th. Yeah, Iron Man. Let's go. See, there's some winners. But like I said, I share mine with Jay-Z and Tyra Banks. Okay, the thing with Tyra Banks kind of broke me, because I used to really look up to her as a kid, because there was a time in my life where I wanted to be a model, and it was purely because of America's Next Top Model. And Tyra was also like a woman of color, and you know, we had the same birthday, and I really identified with her, and I looked up to her, and I thought she was really cool. Plus, I watched Life Size like way too many times. So it was like, damn, I'm her for real. Like, or at least I wanted to be. And then I, like, years later found out, like, how truly problematic she is. And it kind of broke me, because I was like, damn, girl, you know, we were all rooting for you. How dare you? You know, like, that's how I felt. You know. Why did I never cared about Jay-Z at all. Like, so nothing gained, nothing lost in that regard. The fun fact about me is that I keep saying that I was born both on Corpus Christi and 10th anniversary of my parental grandfather's death. Damn, okay. The only things I think about when I think about Tyra Banks is we were all rooting for her and her fiction book. Wait, she had a fiction book? Huh? How am I just now learning about this? I guess I'm not really that surprised. She kind of just did like everything. But yes. Is it like really bad? Wait, no, I have heard of that. I'm a fucking liar, too. I think I watched a YouTube video of somebody talking about that, and it was not good. She really made that her whole personality, huh? Like, I mean, to be fair, same can be said about me. Like, being a writer is, like, my entire personality. I have nothing if I'm not a writer, you know what I mean? But it's, like, she's almost, like, so involved in modeling in a way that I feel like no other model will ever be. You know what I mean? I feel like every other model is very casual about the fact that they're a model. But, you know... to each his own, and it's insane. Model maxing. I don't know, man. She used to like the body specific comments and stuff on that show have aged like pure ass milk. And like even when you watch her later seasons, which I think some people don't, where she does have like plus size models and things like that, like her plus size models are still like just normal fucking women, dude. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I do think modeling has a potential to be like a really nice inclusive industry, but I don't think it's there yet. I think it's still got a long ways to go. And I really like the idea of modeling as just like a concept, but I just don't think it ever really works in reality the way that I want it to, which is a shame. I just really admire pretty people. It's why I make pretty ass characters, you know? Maybe I'm shallow. But to me, beauty comes in so many different forms, you know what I mean? I think all my characters are gorgeous. I don't think I've ever made an ugly character. Like, even my bitches. They're all beautiful to me. Even Percy. I keep thinking about Model Land religiously because the world building for it was insane, and I just keep thinking about it whenever I think of my world building. Makes no sense. Hey, alright. Well, you know what? I probably will watch a YouTube video about it because I need to refresh my mind, because if it's this absurd, it's going to be a good time. I feel like I did watch a video about it. Maybe it'll refresh me. I don't know. World building, I think, is like my weakest suit because I'm so like impulsive. Where it's like, if I just want something to exist in my world, I'll just make a way to make it make sense. Even, like, I'm not good at the whole kill your darlings thing. And maybe I'll always be a subpar writer for that degree, but, like, people constantly tell you, kill your darlings, kill your darling. Why not make your darlings make sense and make them so, integrated into the story that you can't remove them without it being an issue? You know what I mean? Like, I think that's way better advice. Unless I'm misunderstanding how the advice works, but it's like, I get like some things just need to go and not everything needs to stay, but like, I don't know. I'm trying so hard to world build and make it plausible and believable. It's difficult. Like, Rectifier has been my biggest, world building undertaking, but like we have myself, Alex, who's our director for Rectifier now, and he brought on Eugene, who is a he has a degree in historical, like, art history. And so he, like, specifically puts in pieces that are related to specific parts of our world and things like that for us to, like, pay homage to, but also to use as inspiration for our own work. And he provides like a lot of like really helpful historical context so that our worlds just feel more real. And I think what's helped me the most, especially for a fantasy setting, is obviously you gotta like make it feel real, but it's like, if you just go back in history, you'll learn some really crazy things that people fucking did, and like they're great things to integrate into your own specific fantasy world building, or, you know, anything adjacent. It could work for sci-fi as well, or paranormal, etc. I'm not the greatest at it, but like I think with practice I've learned to enjoy it a lot more, and I think it's because I just like look back into history and try to integrate it, like the most interesting things, into my story. Because if it's not interesting to me, then nobody else is gonna give a fuck about it, you know what I mean? Like, I watched a video with my husband this morning about people putting animals on trial. This was an interesting story. So apparently they were able to try animals as like people back when, like, in ancient Greece and later in like 13th century Europe, where apparently the idea was that like animals could commit evil, and any kind of murder, no matter how it happened, whether it was through manslaughter or like intentional premeditated murder, they were all kind of created equal in their minds. Basically, if somebody died, it didn't matter how they died. So if like a roof tile fell off, you know, and hit somebody's head and then they died, like that inanimate object would go to trial. And so like they could try them and then, you know, burn them at the stake or whatever the fuck, and they would, and they did that with animals as well. And the idea behind it was that if a murder takes place, it's bad energy, it's bad juju. So like, you know, if you let them live without killing them, you know, then that energy pollutes the environment in the city and in other people, basically. So like, it would attract evil, the murder would attract evil, and then therefore the evil would be spread out amongst, and this is a real thing, you could look it up yourself, and it would like spread out to other people, and then so more murders would happen as a result, and other adjacent bad things. So they tried rats for murder, they tried pigs for murder, they burned a rooster at the stake because apparently rooster eggs were believed to be an ingredient in like certain spells to create a basilisk. And this actually took place in this place called Basel. So maybe that's where basilisk originated. At least that's what they believe. So very interesting stuff, you know, like, and then they had to debate the ethics of whether or not animals could actually commit evil, you know, that kind of thing. And then they eventually realized that they really couldn't. And then after Charles Darwin had done his thing, a lot of people had sympathy for animals and believed them as like fully fledged, like actual beings, you know, that kind of thing. So really interesting how that all works out. And I've found a way to integrate that into Rectifier in some specific way, but I won't say how. So, you know, great place to find some inspiration is just like via true shit too, like nonfiction. Passerine Hills is set in our world, and that's fucking me up in so many ways. I've never checked so many things about the USA. I'm starting to recognize American states due to sheer exposure to maps. Sorry, the vibe is messed up. No, you're good. Part of the I see you use this word a lot. Onirion? Or is it one iron? World building was based on the concept of scapegoats, which is interesting. I think it's pretty wild. Like, what do you mean? And like, how's it based off of scapegoats? Like, that's interesting. That's a fun idea. Is it like pinning things? Like, is it like legitimately basing like a crime off of somebody else? Like, I don't know how you say it, to be honest. Oh, no, you're good. I don't care how you say it, to be honest. Oh, that's fair. I mean, it's a cool looking word, ultimately. I think mispronunciation of, like, also, like, my places in my world do bother me from time to time, but hey, you know, that's why we have phonetic spelling in books and things like that. It's Greek and stuff. Yeah. Good enough. That makes sense. Do you think Google would know how to pronounce it? That's the real question. Google-sama. Pronunciation. We'll learn together. I mean, this is gonna give me a good starting point. I'm sure it's based off of like... Oh, wait. Okay, give me... Honorary. That makes sense. So it's like Honorian. Honorian? Honorian. That's probably right. That's probably close, at least. This was important. You see how many tangents I go off on? I can't help it. If I don't do it, then I won't know. Google Summer, you're speaking like Kawaii-chan. Now, this is amazing. Wait, no. This is a real meme from another anime that I loved as a kid. So, Google Summer. Is his name Inu-chan, I think? I'll recognize it. No, that's gonna... Okay. What's the name of the show? The show is... Inu... Inu-chan purple dog anime. We're gonna find this out. This is how I would look for it if I was in my spare time. Okay, no. This is not giving me... Okay, I'm spelling it wrong. No. Okay, so what's the Japanese word for dog? Japanese word for dog. His name... Okay, so his name is like Inu. Anime. Comedy. Fox Steven. I'm just... It's gonna find it for me. I'm going to find it. I'll remember it. I even painted this little dude. Look at my searches. Okay. Wait. Yeah, Google some of me might be right. Gosh, it's such a specific one though. It used to be on Tumblr like all the time. I think I'm gonna have to look up the actual anime name in order to find it. Okay. Inu Demon comedy. It was Guru. Yes, I found it. Guguru Kokuri-san. That's what it's called. Okay, so this is the show. I told you I'd find it. I believe in my brain and Google Sama to help me out. Okay, so this character, his name's Inu. What is his name? Inugami. Inugami is his goddamn name. Okay? Weird ass character. So, and he's this little purple dog half the time. And I don't understand. So, Inugami Google meme. Damn it! I do like Inugami the VTuber, but this is not who I'm looking for. Kokuri. Yeah, that's the one. This motherfucker. This meme is so obscure. I went on a fucking... Like, this is important. I've been trying to look for this GIF anyway for like a while. What is all this fan art and stuff? The show is just a comedy show, so like, there's like absurd imagery. It would be quicker if we used Google. Yeah, I remember. Like, but this isn't the scene. There's a scene where he's like typing it, and it's like, this is so close. Okay, take out meme. Just do Google. Searching for a particular meme can be so rough. It literally is like painful sometimes. Yeah, Pharmacon is a character that was based on the concept of Pharmakos, the human scapegoat that was exiled in order to keep the vibes clean in the city. Their whole job in universe is that they're taking all the nightmares of people on themselves and stuff, but they're unable to dream in return. Oh, that's really cool. Ooh, so a literal scapegoat then. Indeed, that's very interesting. It is. Guys, I'm probably gonna have to get it up at some point. If they don't got it from Google and Inugami, I'm fucked. I cannot believe. One day I will find this meme and I will post it everywhere and I will never lose it ever again. Because I used to post it all the time on Tumblr. Do you think if I went to Tumblr, I'd find it? That's the real question. Telling you, it used to be the fucking... What's your damn name? Oh, Kokiri. Okay. I was like, I just had it. Possibly, yeah. This is how ancient I am. BRB, need water, hydrate. Oh, that's great. I need to get a water too. Enjoy the weird imagery on screen while I get a water. Can you imagine if somebody came to the stream now? if this is a work stream. What the fuck is this? Don't worry about it. This is work. Should I type in Google? Will that help? No, it made it worse. I feel like I'm going crazy, like I'm imagining it. You know what I mean? Like if I don't have proof, if I can't find it, then that means that it's only in my headspace and it means it's not real. Everything is work if your definition of work is broad enough. I mean, then this is work, god damn it. I'll stretch that definition. Imagine I just make every stream, it's just a regular stream, but I just all classify them as work streams. I'm doing research. I even painted this little dude. I used to love him so much. I'm never gonna... No! I'm never gonna find it. They must have wiped it completely from the internet just to spite me. I like how this isn't even like a dog. Like, this is supposed to be a dog. He doesn't look anything like a dog. He's just like a weird purple hamster thing with an emo haircut. Here it is! I found it! Guys, this is what we were looking for this whole time. We should ask Google Sensei. Give me the fucking image now. Give it now. Jesus, why is this thing so long? Here he is. You're not going anywhere. Hello, Butter. Butter, I spent the last like 10 minutes looking for this fucking image. I thought I imagined it, but I didn't. This is exactly what it looked like, and there used to be a GIF. Okay, there used to be a GIF of it. It was really funny. I used to respond to everything with like, I'm gonna ask Google Sensei. I said Sama. I couldn't remember. It was a long time ago. But Google Sensei. This is our meme now. We are never letting this go. I didn't spend all this time for no reason. This show is absurd, by the way. It's funny, but like, it's absurd. So, anyway, back to work, y'all. And now when I Google something, I could be like, let's ask Google Sensei, and just pop up the little image again. Should I make it my PFP? Does it mean that much to me now? Alright, cool. Honestly, when you type Google Sensei on Google, you can find it easily. I bet. Aren't you impressed with my detective skills, though? You know, off the little knowledge that I had, I still managed to find it. Don't mess with me. I am a detective. It's been proven here on stream. Oh god, how far are we in this route? Okay, guys. We're fucking doing it. We are doing the damn thing. It is getting diggily done. Even with all these distractions and stuff, I am still making progress. Let's go! I mean, we thought it was Google's almost, so you did a great job at Jeet. It proves you need to write a mystery game. I did think about doing like a whodunit mystery. I would love to, but I just feel like it would be so hard. I think the hard part is I need to make like a revelation that like makes you go, whoa. Like, that's what a good mystery is, you know? And I feel like I've played way too many mysteries where, like, the revelation of what really happened is not interesting. Or it's, like, convoluted, or it's stupid, or all of the above. I'm looking at you, Danganronpa 3. So it just, like, I don't wanna fuck myself over. They're hard, you know? So I'm like, I would like to, but I have to be smart. And unfortunately, I'm working off of very little up here. Which is a-okay. Speaking of Butter, I forgot to ask, what are we working on today? Are you working on anything? Or are you just coming to chill out and hang out? I did say earlier in the stream that when I finish this work, what I'm probably going to do is read this like writing thread thing that I saw earlier. I know that feels like a weird thing to do on stream, but I've been wanting to, and we've been talking about like a lot of writing related stuff on stream, and I really enjoy talking about it, so that's probably what I'm gonna do afterward. Because I think I should have like at least an hour to spare after I finish the script, because we're getting there. I think in the next 30 minutes I might be able to get this diggly done. I can't believe the amount of legwork I did just to find the fucking image. Does that mean I can find the GIF easily now? Let me try it on Discord. Not as easy to find on Discord. But if I do find a GIF for it, I'll definitely favorite it and use it completely all the time and never let it go. Yeah, I'm not having any luck in actually finding it. I mean, I guess I could make the GIF. All I would have to do is just watch the original show and then just make one, right? Do I want to do that badly? That's the real question. That's the real question to ask. Do I care that much? Okay, Automod got your ass. Sorry. Switching the word joink. Wait, why are we talking about joink? Gods, I need to figure out what to do exactly for tomorrow's announcement. Ooh, anticipation. Yes, lol. I have a project which is a murder mystery game, because the fact it is a spoiler, you're not supposed to expect. But I want to make a mystery game about mysteries that aren't murderers. Make something fun and wholesome with a nice detective and her little twink assistant. Why are you just assuming? Wait, are you saying you're gonna have a twink assistant, or are you assuming I'm gonna have a twink assistant in mine? Because yes, probably both. And I just woke up and then I saw the live notification, haha, but basically I'm still stuck grading papers. Oh, but yes, it would be nice to see the writing or hear it. Good luck with grading papers, but to me that's what these streams are perfect for, is just like that boring, tedious work. It's like, it's gotta get done. It's not really hard, but it is like draining. No, I was talking about my project, but I mean, great minds think alike. True and base. What would really be fun, I think, would be like a nice like way to test it before actually like delving into like a full mystery game or something, would be to like do a Rectifier specific like whodunit mystery, like a little side episode thing. So it's not really like that serious, but it could be like a fun way of, I mean, I do have mysteries naturally in my stories, you know, but usually they're not like, it doesn't function like a mystery, I guess. I guess that's the difference. It's more like a plot twist. Tomorrow is Tiffany's, main character of Pastoring Hills, birthday, so I want to announce Pastoring Hills Just a Bite edition coming in February tomorrow. Let's go! We got the sneak peek here on stream. Thank you. I mean, I'm definitely gonna have to check it out. I mean, to be fair, I have to check out like so many people's games anyway. I'm just gonna add it on my list of 1,000 other things I need to get caught up with my New Year's resolution. Oh yes, the magic element of Rectifier could help you craft very interesting mysteries. I've made the joke that Rectifier will eventually become like it'll become like this thing that has 1,000 side games to it. Like, I feel like I could make a side game for like just anything and it would be fun because it's these characters, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I know I kind of have a stellar cast, like, not to brag, but I just love them that much, and I think it's like I could put them in a room just like watching paint dry and it could be funny, you know what I mean, or interesting, and I think that's what it's really about. And like, I do like the world as well, but just the characters themselves kind of make everything interesting. They make the mundane interesting. Just a Bite edition is just a small part of Act 1 that I'll publish just to see what the interest is and what's the response. So Just a Bite is a great title for it. I like it. It's very evocative. That's a good word. Does everybody have a favorite Christmas song? Mine is specifically the Carpenter song, which is give me a second. I know the Merry Christmas Darling is my favorite Christmas song. I also like the Charlie Brown specific soundtrack for like the Christmas songs. Like, I do like Where Are You Christmas from the Grinch movie. It's a classic. Alas, the life of a teacher, lol, and thank you at Ednerall. Also, oh, good luck for tomorrow, haha, Just a Bite feels like a taste test. Yeah! Yeah, I call it Just a Bite edition for like 3 separate reasons. It's just a perfect name for it. Yeah, it's really fun. I like it. Coming up with a good name for any project is like so difficult. Rectifier was just supposed to be a stand name. It was just supposed to be Rectifier Project, and then eventually I would come up with like a better name, but then it kind of stuck. So I was like, okay, well, and it's such a unique word that people don't really use a lot, so I was like, well, I guess it's fine as a title. I googled it, nothing really popped up of of significance. So honestly, you might have a snippet of my favorite Christmas song in the Kawaii-chan Christmas special. Just saying. I keep forgetting it's coming. I'm so excited. I love a Christmas special. I love Kawaii-chan. She literally, like, she feels like she would have a Christmas special. Like, she has that vibe. She brings joy to all. Oh, mine would be Last Christmas, but the Cascada version. But this is based more on T-Beige Putter Pining, so that's fair. Very fair. I love Florence and the Machine's cover of All I Want for Christmas, where Florence just fucking gives up on the beginning and sings Girl with One Eye instead. I love Florence and the Machine so much. Like, fun fact, one of the Rectifier characters, Greer, his, like, half of his character playlist is Florence and the Machine songs, specifically Ship to Wreck is like his theme song. So like I love it. She also Coldplay, there's a lot of Coldplay in there. Oh yes, titles are so hard. Like I've talked a bit about NaNoWriMo project in the last devlog I published, and I'm struggling with giving this one a title too. Oh, I just kind of picked the first title that seems to stick in some way. Do I have to play Greer now? You don't have to do anything. But, you know, to be fair, that's more on his actual main route in the main game, so you wouldn't really get too much of that in his In Bloom stuff. But hey, you know, I would recommend waiting until, if you were to ever, like, force yourself to play it for whatever reason, just out of curiosity, I would wait till the update anyway, because there's gonna be just more stuff that I wanted to do in the original anyway. Yeah, I also almost always stick with one title and run with it. Yep, sometimes you just have to. Like, Tattoos and Tulips wasn't great, but, you know, it's catchy. It's not the worst name. It's not the best either. I think my favorite name I've done so far is Carved in Stone, because I think I put a lot of thought into it. Everything else, it's alright. It's there, you know. In Bloom I like, but it's just because I like, you know, flowers, so I'm not a hard woman to please in that regard. I do like alliterations though, but I feel like they're kind of childish. I think that's like, I love them, but I feel like they're like a little like too silly, you know? Like people won't take me seriously because I have like rhyming words and things. I don't know. Yes, that's the Dragon Princess versus Amaya the Dragon. Ooh. I still need to play the rest of the In Bloom characters, but alas, real life. Yeah, just take your time, Butter. There's no rush. It ain't going nowhere. And like I said, it's about to get an update, so you might just be better off playing all of it in one sitting when the update comes out. Though, the one thing I will say is that when the update comes out for Otome Jam 2025, it's going to be free through the entire jam period, right? I'm going to try to release it kind of early on. So it'll be free during that time, but then after the jam ends, I will be moving it to Steam and making it pay to play. So you'll be able to play it limited time for free, so that would be the ideal time to do it. Otherwise, you'll have to pay for it later. So it's kind of an incentive to get people to play it, but also just like, you know, I think it would just be like a fun thing to do as well. And also it's just fair for people who've already played the game for free and want to see the new updates without having to go through a paywall, you know, so it gives them at least a set amount of time to do so. Anyway, there's that. Like, to be honest, I think the only titles I'm 100% satisfied with are Kissing Snow White, Out of the Suitcase, and Water Lily of the Froth. Water Lily of the Froth goes crazy. I love saying it. It's also very evocative. I think High School Lolita is pretty good. I mean, to be fair, it kind of is just a derivative of a name that already exists, that kind of thing, but it's still, I still like it. I'm trying to think of... I'm surprised you don't like your, like, Thread and the Swords, or, like, that specific... But again, kind of based off of a work, so maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Some people are just so naturally good at coming up with titles for works, and I don't know how they pull it off, but fuck it. The TNT, Tattoos and Tulips, used to be the pastel punk project for like ever until it was TNT. It took like, it was like a solid almost half year before it was ever Tattoos and Tulips. Yeah, that's a good point, Butter. When the Wind Blew You Away is good too. You've got some good ones. I don't think you give yourself enough credit. And of course Kawaii-chan and Bacon Monster, but that goes without saying. Ooh, we are towards the ending, ladies and gentlemen. We are towards the ending. This is actually my favorite scene. One of my favorite scenes I've written for In Bloom is actually this one, which is the ending of Percy's route. I won't spoil it, unless you want to spoil it for yourself, but it's one of my favorites that I've written. Unfortunately, Percy kind of rocks as a route. Sorry, hate to say it. We hate to see it. Yes, High School Alita works well. The subtitle, My Crushing Love Story, is crazy, but I think it's not crazy. The whole story is crazy, so it's fitting. But I think High School Alita has an expression reaches its peaks with Water Lily of the Froth, ironically. It's a good game, but a convoluted title. The problem with naming is just a Byte Edition is that I'll probably have to come up with names for the actual acts. I have a couple of things chosen. Golden Apple, Golden Cage, Golden Arrow, but we'll see how that goes. Ooh, I love a Golden Apple because it reminds me of Discordia, which is my favorite, like, specifically Roman mythology. But she's also, Calypso, I think, unless I'm misremembering. Roman and Greek have different pronunciations of the same gods, basically, so... But I just know her as Discordia, and she has the golden apple, and there's been something so evocative and, like, fun for that character for me. I've been trying to do a sort of chaos-specific character for something that I want to do in the future, who's going to have a lot of allusions to Discordia. Yes, but like crushing for having a crush. Matthew literally throwing us all a feeling that was crazy. Spoilers! But no, like, no, that's what makes it... Look, High School Alita, to be fair, all your work, Chime, I think I could say this in the nicest way possible. They're all, like, absurdist, but, like, grounded absurd. Does that make sense? Like, they're ridiculous, but they're ridiculous in a way that's so real. You know what I mean? Like, there you go. Take that. That's what your work is to me. Apple imagery in Passerine Hills goes hard, so def one of the acts has to be named Golden Apple for sure. Grounded absurd makes so much sense. It is! Like, and I think that's some of my favorite kind of media, honestly. Like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is that. Like, there's some realness, but it's also just fucking absurd. I think that's what comedy does. I think, like, yeah. It's so real. It makes a lot of sense. The whole point of this game is to reach the extremes of tragedies, but like in real life story. Yeah, it's a hard balance to strike too. I don't feel like it's just like an easy thing to do. So, congrats on that. Congrats on being absurd and real. That's you summed up. Does that mean that's me summed up? Am I also absurd and real? I'm okay with that. There are worse things. I do love that you can kind of get a sense of who a person is via their work. You know, assuming they put a lot of themselves into their work, which I imagine most people do. Like Butter being so romantic. Very Disney princess romantic too, and I mean that with all the love in the world. It's very evocative and nice. Merry Christmas to you. I feel called out. Again, there are worse things to be. Butter is also very tragic. Yeah, but that's the peak of romance. Romanticism, not necessarily like romance as in like love. She's pure romance embodiment. Which is fun. You know, that's something about, I think, indie devs that's really nice, is that, like, there's just... I don't know what the word is. Like, there's so many different shades of the same thing. You know, we can all do romance, but we do it all in such a very specific way. You know, we all do like hot characters and, you know, I don't know, like there's a lot of, it's the shades. I used to be so like annoying, and when people would ask me what my favorite color was when I was younger, I would be like, I don't have a favorite color, I just have favorite shades of every color. And like I stick by that, but like that's kind of annoying. Just say like pink. Like just pick one. You don't need to, like, everybody has a favorite shade of every color, I think, probably. You know what I mean? 50 Shades of Indie. I'd read it. Ironically, that actually fits, lol, since Enneagrams, I'm a type 2, lol, and the main motivation for type 2 is love. Not a bad motivation to have. I need to do mine. Should I also do that on stream, Butter? Should I do that? Should I do my personality test? Yes, pink joy, all the pink. Pink and yellow are my two favorite ones, specifically pastel shades of those colors. I used to like green a lot too, but I think I'm definitely a warmer color type person. I gravitate towards them more. Oh, I'd be curious. I kind of want to do it. It probably won't take that long, right? So fuck it. What are these streams even? You know what I mean? I kind of just fuck around. They're kind of more fun that way when I just kind of do whatever. Honestly, I think something about me is that I rarely tend to write romances that slowly grow over time, like in romance games. In general, romance is used either to be destroyed, or instead the characters already date and the romance is meant to help them go through something. Yeah, which I love that, because I used to write a lot of fan fiction that was about pre-established relationships, because that's, to me, that's the interesting part of a romance, is seeing it evolve and change and struggle and all that through time. Like, not that I don't like watching two characters fall in love, but it's like, if that's the only significant part of their story, that's like very ingenuous to what a real relationship is like. And my relationship, the best parts of it have come way later into it, not at the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, my favorite color that I request everywhere whenever I'm allowed to pick my own color is 696969, which is a very nice shade of gray. I unironically love gray. It's my favorite color. I also love gray. Now, see, for my favorite colors are pink and yellow, but they don't make for good decoration. And also, I live with my husband, so I try to keep it neutral. And our colors we stick to are also our wedding colors, which were white, black, yellow, green, and then gray sprinkled in. So it was basically just like three neutral colors with splashes of natural green and yellow, to reminisce of daisies and like farmhouse aesthetics and things like that. And that's what our living room is. Those are the color schemes we stick to. So I am also a big fan of gray. Gray can stay. I have a gray Christmas. Like I keep like the light tones. Romance for me is just another tool for character exploration, as it should be. I mean, I don't see. That's quite easy to remember and take note. We all love Gray and her amazing games. True, we do love Gray as well. Gray is one of my favorite shades of gray. Also, oh, your romance views are interesting. I always have to be just like, okay guys, this isn't for the meme, I just love this shade. So the thing I fall into, because I like it as a house decoration thing, is I worry that I just stick to the millennial gray. I'm not a millennial, but my brother called me a millennial once, and I have not been able to forget it. It is haunting me. I'm sorry, I do not want to be mistaken as a millennial. Please don't. If I'm giving off millennial, somebody needs to tell me so I can change it. I can't live this lie. Lord of Lies wasn't the worst name either, actually. But it was once Princess Poison, which wasn't great either, so... But yes, I think the core example of romance being what makes the character stronger to face their woes is obviously the life I lost, but also the fragmented butterfly, but in a way that makes me cry this time. Hey, like, I want to cry. I want to feel something when why is somebody mowing the lawn? It is literally like 30 degrees outside right now. Kill me. Why are they doing this? My neighbor's really annoying about that. Is somebody mowing the lawn? Is that something else? Okay, give me a second. I gotta go check. Oh no, there's like a big truck that's like, I don't know, it's like paving truck? I don't know. It's weird. Also, I got a package. I didn't just like run away from stream. I was like, well, I'm out here. I might as well just grab this package when I'm here. Alas, the curse of the funny number. My favorite number is 169, but that's because it's 13. 13s, and I love 13 too. And any particular reason why 13? I love 4. I love the number 4 very, very much, which apparently is bad luck in like China, I think. But 4 just is such a pretty number to me. I've always loved it. My favorite number is 6 because I decided so when I was 6 I never bothered to change. Fair enough. Me with pink, to be honest, like with liking pink. But I picked the right color first. I was always based and right. This is mine, isn't it? It's not. It's my husband's. I'm so glad I didn't open it because this is probably to me. I do not need to see this. Okay, you go. You go away. No unboxing today. The irony of Chim being born April 4th. Yeah. Hey, my birthday is also on the 4th. But my birthday would be a crime there. Also, 13 is considered unlucky, and ever since I was a little kid, I like sticking for the underdogs, as you should. There's nothing wrong with the number 13. A lot of people like 3, and that's considered like kind of good luck, so why should 13 be any different? We just had a Friday the 13th, too. Apparently, any month that starts on a Sunday will have a Friday the 13th, so... I feel like I can breathe that I'm safe. Oh, why am I reading my own script? I don't need to read this. And you're right, both you and Chim were born on the 4th. That's true. And we have the same Myers-Briggs thing, and we have the same aversion to spit, and among so many other things. We have way too much in common sometimes. It's a little unsettling, I'm not gonna lie. But so do me and Gray. I think sometimes I just have a lot in common with my friends. Maybe I'm just so basic that I just have a lot in common with people. Just anybody. And this is a gray choice, so this needs to... I'm so glad my neighbor is not mowing his lawn right now. I was like genuinely like bothered by that idea. Like, get out of here. Do something else. There we go, that's good. Sobs in am I basic for liking 26 because my birthday number? No. And even if you were, there's nothing wrong with being basic. Basic is basic because it works. You know what I mean? Don't say that because if you're basic then it means I'm basic, but I'm not. I'm a star! I'm a star! I'm a star! Nah, anytime somebody calls me basic, I'm like, because it works. Because it fucking works, dog. Like, there was a time that I wanted, like, I changed my favorite my favorite color, like, I changed it. Like, I thought pink was too basic, so I was like, oh no, my favorite color is now green. And I was just like, girl, just like your favorite color. Like, it's not that deep, man. And again, I was right. Pink is the best color. I should have never questioned it. I was based and pilled from day one. I'm a star sentences you can hear. Being basic is okay. There ain't nothing wrong with it. Doesn't mean bad. Though I understand why some people, like, there's that connotation there. Why do I have to hyperanalyze everything? I'm sorry. I'm just a philosopher. That was a joke, I'm sorry. Guys, we are getting there. I know I've said that like 3 times, but we are. I like to hyperanalyze things, but I reserve it for fiction most of the time. I mean, that's why I do it. Sometimes during conversations, though, with people, I start to get, like, really philosophical about things, and then just, like, start going on tangents about, well, maybe this means this, and blah, blah, blah. Because sometimes it's fun to contemplate, and sometimes it's fun just to yap. And I feel like I figure things out when I'm talking. Hence why I kind of go around in circles. Kind of reminds me of a day when my sister was teasing me and telling me you're ugly because that's what siblings do, and my aunt was like, Yassine, tell her that good people do not care because beauty comes from within, to which I answered, but that's what ugly people say. Okay, you're me. Unfortunately you're me. That was something I struggled with for a while. I was like, am I shallow? Maybe a little. I do value, like, pretty people maybe a little bit too much. Like, obviously there's more than being just pretty. But damn does it help, you know? Damn does it help. And it's been psychologically proven that people are more willing to listen to you if you're pretty. So if nobody listens to me, then I got my answer. You know what I mean? It's kind of sad, though, that that's the case. That people only value you when they see you. It's why certain YouTubers actually go faceless, because their words will ring a little bit more hollow if people don't find them aesthetically pleasing, which is very sad, but, you know, it's unfortunately very true. We place a lot of weight into beauty. Physical beauty, I should say. I got almost thrown out of a New Year's party because I started yapping and analyzing Twilight. How dare... First of all, you're invited to every party ever because I love talking about Twilight. But also, Jacob stood it and imprinted on that baby. They should have found another way. I can't stop thinking about it. I love that sound so much. Curtains are indeed blue, and there's always a reason indeed, even when we don't realize it yet. Yes, the sky is blue, and so am I. I know that in my case, if I take time to write that the curtains are blue, that sure is for a reason. Otherwise, who would care about the curtains? True, true. I want to hear the Twilight analysis. Exactly. The pretty thing is so funny because I caught myself projecting particular things I find beautiful on my characters that are supposed to be pretty. We all have that, though. Like, to me, I like... If I see a character with a giant honker, I'm like, okay, so this is supposed to be the hot character. Like, so we got it. So we know... You know, but here's the thing, it's like, I feel like as a bisexual polyamorous woman who like just appreciates beauty in many different forms, my characters are so diverse and stuff, and I find all my characters attractive in some way, shape, or form. Obviously I'm more attracted to certain ones than others, but I think it's fun to explore what makes me attracted to certain personality types and stuff, and figuring that out via dating sims and the like. So I haven't interacted with Twilight in a while. I'm sorry, I don't remember anything. Damn it! Narelle, now you have to just, like, rewatch it and make a 10-hour YouTube analysis on the project. I would watch that in a heartbeat. I love videos like that so much. Honestly, IRL, I don't think I actually care about that much about beauty. Maybe because I'm my asexuality, I don't know, but you'll catch me dead before having me say I'm not gorgeous. Asexual, but vain. Hey, look, that doesn't count. Those things could go together. Those aren't mutually exclusive. I mean, I think I have a bit of vanity too, like to a certain degree. Like, I place a lot of my self-value into how I look. Like, if I don't, but not to, like, I think the degree of other people. I think for me, it's like, if I don't feel like I'm hot, then I'm not. And then, like, and unless I feel like I am, then I'm just not. It doesn't matter what other people say. It doesn't matter, you know, whatever. Like, and it has nothing really to do with weight or whatever, even though it helps, you know, because I think it's when I physically feel good, then, like, I feel like I look good physically, even if that might not be true. And it's like, I think fashion and beauty and all that stuff is really cool, but I've never engaged with it because it's just, like, too time consuming and money expensive. So the day I get into video essays, it'll be over for everyone. Absolutely. I love video essays. Maybe one day I'll make one. But I need to find something that I'm, like, so, like, annoying about that I could talk about for that long of a time. Which, you know, I would normally say is anything, but let's be real. I need to have something interesting to say about it for long periods of time. You will listen to my little Twinkie voice and Polish accent as I yap about stuff. I would love it. I think it'd be fun. If any of y'all streamed, I'd watch. Admittedly, I do find almost everyone beautiful. In particular, the more I get to know someone, the more beautiful I find them. See, I think that's natural, though. I feel like it bleeds out, you know? It, like, in a way, their personality sort of, like, fills in the gaps in their physical beauty. That sounds meaner than I intended it to. But you get what I'm saying. It, like, you know, I thought my husband was cute and stuff when I met him, but like I'm super attracted to him now because I just know he is such a good person. Like, it's rose-colored glasses. You just obtain rose-colored glasses for people that you love when you get to know them. Honestly, if I ever do a YouTube channel, it would be to yap about classic French theater. I'll have 2 followers and we'll have fun together. You should! Life is too short. Honestly, you have no idea what people are really, like, into listening to. Like, I've listened to video essays about things I've never cared about before, and I'm like, this shit's interesting. And hello, Leah Curtis! You're back! I'm so glad you decided to stop by again. Not a one-time chatter, this one. A 2-time chatter, at least. We're just kind of yapping about everything. I'm almost through with my first script for my dating sim, so that's really exciting. And if I finish a little early, which I probably will, we're probably going to be discussing like writing stuff. I saw a thread that I wanted to read, so I was going to read it on stream and like discuss it because I think it was an interesting topic point. So if that's something that interests you, you might want to stick around and yap with us because that's pretty much all we do on this stream. I might as well just call it the Yap Show. OMG, same. My only knowledge of JoJo Siwa is video essay. Honestly, same, yeah. I did watch a Dance Mom video essay. It was really good. Like, I was like, holy shit. The lore goes deep. It's almost like listening to somebody gossip, you know what I mean? But it's like well-informed gossip. I love it. Give me the tea. Okay, so we're on green. We're so close. I can smell it. I can smell it. I'm getting giddy, even though I still have 6 other routes to do after this, but hey, that's fucking progress, man. It's one less route. And after that, I talk about yanderes because I cannot stand how they get warped. That, you should. Because I feel like yandere is a spectrum, okay? It's not just like a one-off, like one-size-fits-all kind of thing, okay? Because you have your serial killer, cage, yanderes, and then you have just simps. You just have simps, okay? And like and some might argue that's not even a yandere, you know what I mean? But like to me, and in how they're depicted, I feel like there is a range. Simps or sims? Simps. But also maybe sims. I mean, depending on how you want to use your specific yandere character. I used to make sims for all my specific characters at one point in my life, but I have too many OCs now. And unfortunately, I have a lot of pretty men, and making pretty men in sims is almost impossible without mods. People forget that a yandere is supposed to love you at this point, not gonna lie. Say it louder for the people in the back. I do like a yandere. I'm not really anti-yandere like some people are. And like, no offense to people, like, different tropes for different folks, that kind of thing, but like, I've always found them okay. They're not my favorite, but they're not my least favorite either. I seem to really like tsunderes, and I'm kind of annoyed by it. Does that make me basic? I just like asshole characters. This is something really endearing about watching like this character who is kind of like a bad person, but you watch them, you know, either have a justifiable reason for being that way, or watching them just like chill out a little bit. Give me your favorite yandere flavor. Simp! I want a guy who's like crying because he can't be with you. I mean, not just specifically a guy. I want a yandere character who just like is so unwell about you that they lose sleep over it. You know what I mean? But they'll never hurt you. They might hurt people for you, but they're not gonna hurt you. And like, I want them to be like borderline Hanahaki disease sort of deal of like unrequited love, and then they're just gonna get sick and die because of it. Very like dramatic Victorian child. Like, no, the possessive killer is not yandere. Just because he got you in a cage, does he care about you? Yeah, exactly. Even I've never really engaged with that trope that often. I do plan to play like Amnesia and stuff on stream, and the only thing I know about that fucking game is that some dude puts you in a cage at some point, and I'm like, okay, and it's just become a meme for like years and years. But I would love to experience, and the only other yanderes I've experienced is via indie games, and I don't know how close they are to like the original trope depictions of them, so guess we'll see together. Honestly, I used to be like, ew, yanderes, but Geist from My Mind has been a lesson in humility. Not you being converted via Geist. Geist sucks. I'm just joking. No, he's a good character. He's just annoying. Geist is annoying. Like, and he's British. Ew. Sorry. I'm sorry to the guys. You know, look, Chatter would agree with me, okay? I don't think this is crazy. I literally streamed it. Y'all know my thoughts on Geist. If you want to see my thoughts on Geist, go to my YouTube channel. I'm plugging it now. Flowers for Joy, where I played My Mind. I played the whole thing, and it was great. It was a great time. Lol, I love Amnesia, especially Ukyo, and it's one of my... Whoo, she got so excited I couldn't even read that. He's my core inspiration. Okay, I got it. Geist is like a little demon trolling you that was so endearing. It's funny, I'll give it that, but he's annoying. I just think of myself being in that actual situation and I'm like, please stop talking to me. Having a you know, sexy British guy in my head does not sound appealing to me, like, at all. Having anybody in my head does not sound appealing. Though, I do love that trope of, like, a character having a split personality or like some demon that possessed them or something that comes out from time to time, and then, like, having a love triangle between them two. That shit goes crazy. My fave yandere flavor is the one who doesn't even have to commit any crime. They just slowly, meticulously plan how to get you. And when you realize that something is wrong, you're already married in a remote location, cut off from your family, completely dependent on their care and love, unable to say what exactly is wrong. You have a life out of a fairy tale that feels wrong, but you just can't do anything about it. The psychological horror of it. That actually kind of goes crazy. Yeah, I fuck with that a lot. Because it's like, that's way scarier, to be honest. It goes deeper. It goes a layer deeper. Okay, I am so... Butter's like, please, somebody do this to me. And you know what? You're so real for that. You're so real for that. Fuck it. Again, there are worse things. Depending on who you are. I mean, at that point, they can just have me. You know, they work so hard. Just let them have it. You know what I mean? I didn't lose anything. I'm alright. My autonomy. Is he paying the bills? Am I being fed every day? You know? I don't know. But honestly, I think my favorite flavor of yandere is, I'll do anything to protect you, but I feel sad for doing wrong things for you, and I'll do them anyway because you matter more than morality. Ugh, you're gonna love Percy. God damn it. I know I made this character specifically to appeal to this fucking trope or whatever, but also, ew, no. I was hoping you might find him just a little bit annoying. This is so good too. Yeah, I think somebody said it really easily, though. They're like, I like the yanderes who won't hurt you. They'll hurt other people for you, but not you. And I think that's the correct way to do the trope half the time. Put other people in cages, not me. Oh, this is a good approach. I think yanderes are excellent for horror. Absolutely. I think they technically are, like, always horror, like, when they're introduced. Like, I'm just tired of, I'll kill for you, okay? Will you die for me? Will you live for me? Yeah. Will you do all my taxes? Like, what the hell? My response to that route, if I were to play that route as myself, is to shower them with love and affection as I'm blissfully unaware. Like, she's like, something's wrong, but also my husband's really cute and really sweet, so... And let's go, Percy's hot. I almost read that out loud. I almost put that in the air right then. I can't be doing that. You won't catch me slipping. You know who also is hot? Greer, Ren, Styles, Glyph, Lior, Emil. Emil. That's who I really need. Emil. I don't have a favorite. I don't pick favorites. Do not look at my PFP on Discord. Okay, but Priest Guy, have you considered that? Priest Guy? Who? I don't know her. Not a favorite, but like an anti-favorite. Like, my ex-Catholic senses are tingling. Yeah, the religious trauma kind of goes crazy. And I have a lot of it, so... It definitely got injected. Look, okay. In all fairness, he's my favorite to write, so I think by extension he's like a fun route to play. Like, people who don't even like him, you know, like the people who did the surveys, my friend, like people who've played his route and don't even really like him as a person still really enjoyed his route. So if you like him, I think it's just only gonna add to it. Religious Troublous guy! I got it in spades, my friend. Remember, I tried to pray somebody's stutter away once before. I still cannot believe that was a thing that happened. My favorite yandere type is like the ultra devoted Yan who will do anything for you but accidentally saves the world in the process. Percy? That's so funny. I love that. That is kind of a great trope. I like yanderes that are just pathetic. The more pathetic the better. Like, this man is down criminally, and like, no one can help them. No one can help them. You can either leave them to die in their sadness of never obtaining you, or like, you can let them love you in the most pathetic way imaginable. Yandere that turns into a fight dog, MC, sicko, yeah! I do consider this different. I do have like a guard dog character in my dating sim, and like, he's literally part dog. But hey, I think that like, it's on the yandere spectrum yet again, but I wouldn't fully advertise him as that. Wait, what, Percy? Yeah, I mean, the whole game is about like saving humanity and all that stuff, so, and he's kind of also there, so it happens. You know, potentially. No spoilers though. Yes, the criminal down bad is amazing. Yandere that will live on the crumbs you will give them. Yes! Yes! Exactly that. Now imagine a priest, you know what I mean? So, you know, put 2 and 2 together, what do you get? Like, I really liked Raku for that reason, because he's just like a simp. Like, is he harmful from time to time? Is he, you know, a monster? Yeah! But like, I really enjoyed Raku. I thought that was really fun. I don't have a lot of examples to go off of because, again, I don't play a lot of mainstream otome yet. So, or just mainstream visual novels, I should say. So, pathetic wet cat yandere. Yes. Yeah. Like, you give them one look and they live on it for the next week saying, that's Percy, I'm sorry. I know I keep saying it, I'm not just saying it just to appeal to you guys. I'm legit, it happens in Bloom. Like, it's not like, he's like really pathetic, like almost comedically so. Like, it's actually like sad. It's really sad. But it's funny, you know? Like, I guess that's all of Rectifier, is that things are played for laughs and they're also played to make you cry and to make you sad. Okay, I think I already knew, Butter. I've been new. You liked Leor, and that's great, and I'm glad for it. But like, unfortunately, Percy's got you in a death grip, and I'm sorry to have done it to you, okay? I apologize. Although for a horror game, I'm working on a very specific type of yandere, loser who gets obsessed but will never realistically reach their love interest, so they can just rot and let themselves die. A brand. TM. He is lonely, okay? Yeah, he's really lonely. He's lonely to a degree that it's like, it's a disease. He's like an incel that never goes full incel, you know what I mean? I think it's like the crux. They could either go into like the worst possible human being or just pathetic man, you know? I keep saying man because I do prefer pathetic men. I don't enjoy a pathetic woman. I'm sorry, you know, like I like my women to be very competent because I don't know. I feel like, wait, hold up. I think a pathetic woman could be fun, done the right way. But I think it's too easy to basically make that trope into like woman dumb, you know? So like, maybe that's why I'm a little like, I'm a feminist. I like to say this first and foremost before anybody like questions. I write a lot of feminist fiction, okay? It's proven. My last work was feminist. But like, you know, I have moments where I'm just like, sometimes I just want like the strong femme. I mean, peak pathetic woman was Yannette. We love Yannette. See, so it could be done. Absolutely. There's nothing weak about Yannette at all either. Like, oh, wrong one. It should be darker? Yeah, okay. Competent women who simps for you so bad you are the only one who sees that side. If you told someone, they wouldn't believe it. Ooh, I do like that. I do like, I don't know what that trope is called, but it's just like stone cold queen, like the one who, like, she seems kind of distant and really competent and put together, and like she has like really no emotion, you know, but like she's feeling a lot of things deep under, you know. I do like that. It's very anime. That my friends are like, are you writing sapphics again? Yes. And yes, what about it? Yeah, and okay, me this year, me 2025. I'm so excited. We have a fairy project that's like very sapphic, lesbian coded. And I mean, that's really all you need to know. Lesbian and fairies, done. It's a human fairy romance. More sapphics, yes. Women so pathetic she will get jealous of your cage, and also censoring it because Automod doesn't like the word, actually. Doesn't like pathetic? Automod? Get the fuck out of here. Look at what chat you're in right now. Look at what stream you're in. Pathetic is the only thing that does belong here. That's my brand. My brand. Look with your special eyes. Oh, don't do that. Emmeline Passerine Hills, my beloved. She's so collected and formal outside, but inside somebody feels that are okay, I'm gonna, like, from just that, I'm like, I got my fork and knife out. I'm gonna eat her. Okay, let me talk about that. I've gone on record saying that I really like cannibalism as like a trope, specifically in regards to like a romantic thing. You can blame Hannibal almost exclusively for that, but also it works in many other things that I've seen. So, like, and when I tell people that, they're like, look, man, there's something beautiful about it, okay? In the scope of fiction, it's like, it's very visceral, okay? It's very carnal and raw and real and like actually literally raw. What do you think P in Percy stands for? Pride. Because all the guys were named after their sins. Also priest, also pathetic. The 3 Ps. In the scope of fiction, it's beautiful and incredibly, thank you, someone fucking taste for human flesh, okay? Again, I blame Hannibal, kind of changed my brain chemistry, but also Dramatical Murder did. We're not gonna talk about it. We're not gonna talk about it unless somebody else wants to talk about it, but I don't need to talk about it. Too much of my life has gone into consuming Dramatical Murder as a piece of media, and I'm not willing to give much more mouth service to it. Let's just put it that way. It's integral to who I am as a person, unfortunately, but I should not have experienced it when I did in my life. And I think I'm still escaping its ties to this day, and probably always will. I like this with this like twinkly Christmas music playing in the background, really setting the tone. Merry Christmas, I'm gonna eat you. Yannette Christmas special when? Some randomest pieces of fiction grip you and don't want to let go. The worst part, and I'm sure everybody's experienced this, like as a creative, is when you like, you put something in your work and you're like, wow, this is so creative, this is so fresh, oh my gosh, and then you realize that it's like just a knockoff version of something you've enjoyed in another piece of media that you liked, you know, and then you're like, fuck. And when somebody points it out, or when you realize it, it makes you feel super unoriginal and like a fraud. I've definitely never experienced this, ever, in my life. Honestly understandable. When I was 15, I decided to watch the forbidden anime, and although it hasn't influenced me because I hated it, but the grip of the trauma has never left me. Not a Christmas special? I mean, unless she disguises as a Christmas tree to stalk Yancy. I'm telling you, it's comedic gold! Look, Kawaii-chan Christmas special this year, Yannette next year. That's all I'm saying. It's yours, free of charge. Okay, there we go. Gotta make sure I'm drinking some water. Yannette Christmas Special 2025, let's go! It's real! We've said it like 3 times. We've brought it into existence. You have no choice now. Sorry! Merry Christmas. There's your early gift. But not gonna lie, I've had an idea for a Yannette sequel. Of course you have. Of course you have. Why wouldn't you? Honestly, Chime, to be honest, all you would have to do is just put a Yannette, which I'm sure probably already is happening, like cameo in the Kawaii-chan special. 2 birds, 1 stone. I think it could work, Joy. Like, they may have the airhead personality, but be so competent in a way even she doesn't know. Like, in a way that she doesn't realize. Not everyone can do what she does. Like, in why did you bring a lion to the one show? Her, I'm sorry. I just thought animals are just nice to everyone, especially this big kitty cat. You're right. You're absolutely right. I think what it is that, like, I do acknowledge that it works. I think I just am not that fond of it as a thing. Like, not that it's a bad thing, and there's nothing against people who do enjoy the trope. For instance, like, I think that's basically what the blue personality in Rectifier is, and I do acknowledge why people gravitate towards it, and they like these, like, really sweet, good girl, yes girls in these characters, and, like, there's nothing wrong with being a super feminine, submissive personality who's, like, basically a Disney princess. Like, those are all good things. I just personally, it's my least favorite. Like, if I'm going to play as a femme character, I want to be something more than that, I guess. Not that it's lesser, I don't want to say that. It's just lesser to me because it's not my preference. But, like, it does have a reason for existing, and, like, I do like it as an option. I guess what it is I played so many mobile otome games growing up where, like, the main character was basically just, like, the most passive person in the world, and I'm just not a passive girl at all. I've never been that way. Like, I asked my husband out. Like, we would not be going out right now if I did not pursue him. And I guess because I'm a queer woman too, I think that adds to it too. I'm just not really delicate, submissive, straight girl coded or anything. So I don't gravitate. But there is nothing wrong with enjoying it, and that trope has been done well. It's just I don't think I could do it well. That's for sure. Hopefully I explained it in a good way. I don't want to come off as like, actually, your trope isn't as good as mine. This is my stream, actually. You know, like, I don't want to do that. I only really enjoy soft, good girls when they have a slight edge to them. Yeah, I want them to be, like, secretly kind of crazy. Like, a side of them that they only show you. Honestly, that is adorable, Joy. I'm glad you think so. Oh, you're unexpectedly capable of not being like that when needed. Yeah, I don't know. There are ways to do it. Like, for me, I actually really like the soft, manic pixie girl type characters when they're, like, huge nerds and they're just, like, super talented in one very specific thing, because I think that takes away the incompetence part, because I feel like those characters are just never good at anything. They're just there to just be like standing service to praise like the other characters. Maybe I'm just traumatized by like just bad depictions of women in media, especially dating sims and stuff. But, you know, indie games don't really have that problem from what I've noticed. And had they, I think I would have reached out to the creator like, have you considered this? You know what I mean? But ultimately, like, there's nothing wrong with a soft girl, okay? I'm a soft girl in some ways. I'm just not a submissive passive girl, you know? Those are 2 different things in my head. They're not mutually exclusive. Dude, he talks so annoying. Shut the fuck up. Oh my gosh. Look, if I couldn't bully some of my characters, then what's the point? You know what I mean? Do I have another character that I bully, though, outside of Percy? I don't think so. I mean, I guess maybe one of the villains, but not really. Izzy, Nerd, and Claire are soft with edge. Passerine Hill's my beloved. Everything comes back to her. It's like Rectifier. Everything comes back to it. Bullying your characters is so important. Sometimes they need to be humbled, especially this motherfucker. But like in general, like I think also, you know, characters are a part of yourself, and so, you know, I have to bully the parts of me I don't like too much. And Percy embodies a lot of my own traits I'm not too proud of. You know, so maybe in a sense it's therapeutic. I don't know. We can hyperanalyze it all day, I'm sure, but you know. so glad I'm making progress. Good on me. I've been having a lot of fun with the streams, honestly. I like I said, I wanted to do work streams a while ago, but sometimes it's so hard for me to focus. You know, like, it's good for me to focus when I'm all alone because I have nothing else to do, you know what I mean? But, like, when I get to talk to people, it's like I want to do work and talk to people and have fun. I want to have it all. You know, but you got to do it a very specific way. So I'm glad it's working out pretty good, and you can expect a bunch of these for a while. I don't know when I'll go to actually playing mainstream Otome games. It'll probably be after I finish all the scripts. Hakuoki will be my will be my reward for finishing the Rectifier update scripts. I'm like, I fucking hate this girl, as if I did not write her. Especially me with Percy, because not only did I birth him, but I also picked him to write for. I had 7 dudes to pick from, and I still picked him to write for, so, you know, I made my own bed. I'm glad that I got 2, though, because I feel like I can do him the correct way. And in the least sexual way possible. Oh, it's nice. It's like we all are working together. Yeah, of course. Which I love. I love working with y'all. I even turned Amanda into a goose just because she said wind a few times in her game. I love geese. Little aggressive dudes. Apparently, I saw a video of a gorilla that was really scared of geese, and I find that very funny. I want to work with you together again at one point, Joy. Aw, I would love that as well. You know what? Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. It's okay, if I remember it. But yes, I would love to as well. I always have a great time, man. I'm sure we will. The Skywrite Studios that me and Gray started together, we're probably going to be looking for writers because we're doing like a lot of dating sims and stuff. So I'll definitely, you know, maybe peek into your DMs if something seems up your alley, if you're okay with that. I hate them because I was attacked by one when I was 7. Not the goose man that slander. Leave her alone, Chime. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, that's what I was gonna say, Cube. I'm so sorry. So earlier, I was talking about how you didn't put a kiss in Micah's route, and how I still feel like his route is just as romantic as the other ones without having, like, the physical use, or whatever. And I found that wonderful. I actually went on a whole tangent about it earlier. Carnival of Shadows is so good. People haven't played enough of it, I think. It's underrated. Like, obviously I worked on it, so I'm a little biased, but no, for real, Micah's was one of my favorite routes, so, like, they're all so good. I can't pick a favorite. It's well, I know mine's the least favorite, but when I played Micah on stream, it was really fun. Also, you could find that on my YouTube channel if you ever want to watch me play one route of Carnival of Shadows, and it was Cube's route, so... And I'm so glad Gray got you as a Secret Santa too, because she reached out to me because we talk a lot. And I know it's kind of against the rules, you're not supposed to tell people who your Secret Santa, but we only told each other, okay? We didn't tell anybody else. But she was like, do you think Cube would really like a Micah? And I was like, I think they would love it. I do. I need to check it out. It's fun. If you like the idea of being trapped with a bunch of queer vampires in a carnival for one night, it's a good time. Plus the MC is like gender neutral, which is really nice. That was like a very important part of the story. There's also a lot of like gender specific stuff that's brought up in the game, and it's also pretty short. I think each route takes about under an hour to complete, and it has some fun horror elements. It's a good time. It was definitely a highlight of early year, being able to work with other writers. I miss it. There's something really fun about working with other writers on one project. Honestly, I did tell who my giftee was to friends who didn't participate. Butter is a witness. I mean, technically I told somebody who participated, but I only told one person. That's it. Don't worry. I'm so glad we were able to do that again this year. I think it's wonderful. It also gave me an excuse to actually play a game that I'd been wanting to play anyway and just didn't have the chance to, because I got Mary Games, and she did Hydrangea, and I like kept seeing the art for it, and I was like, damn, I want to play that game. And so I did, and it was banger. And also about yanderes and like what do you call it, flowers, obviously, and a bunch of just fun stuff in there. So it was a good time. I really enjoyed it. I got really lucky. I get lucky every year with who I get. Am I getting lucky, or is just everybody so good that I can't lose? You know what I mean? I feel bad for anybody who gets me every year. Because it's like, my games are fucking long. Imagine you get me and then you're gonna have to actually sit through like fucking 10 hours or something. Like, I'm sorry, guys. But damn, my gift both years was banger. Like, one of them is framed back here. It's all the way back there. And then the other one is my phone background currently. And it's Emil, and he's gorgeous. You guys saw it. You were there. I'm just still not over it. I need to play Hydrangea, but I was on her stream recently and she was lovely. Oh, I'm gonna have to check in. She was saying in the Indie Otome server the other day that she was having trouble with the stream, so I'll definitely pop in at one point. Because she seems very lovely. Hopefully it's she. Did I use the wrong pronouns? Okay, no, we're good. Just say they, Joy, until you know. What the hell? My gift was a poem, which is fun because I also sent a poem. We had each other as gifties. Oh, did you get Kath? Was it you? I might be misremembering. Or was that last year that you got... I might have misinterpreted that whole thing. Poems are so neat, so unique. I do love a poem. I'm not very good at poems, but I got Kath. Yeah, Kath worked on Carnival of Shadows, which is what me and Cube worked on. So, Kath's wonderful. And also, Vlox Turbo buddies, you guys are. Guys, we're fucking done. We finished. We finished Percy's route. Yay! Yay's in the chat! Woo! We fucking did it! It only took 3 streams, and that's not counting like the work I did before I started streaming it, but it probably would have taken about 4. But hey, now we got 6 more to go. But hey, that's one done. The next one we're doing in Styles is, because his is like twice as long as everybody else's. He's a special boy. So next stream that I do, which will probably be tomorrow, maybe. I'm not gonna say set in stone, I don't know. But the stream's not over, we still got time. And I wanted to go through the thread that I saw. Carrot responded to this thread and I wanted to read it, and I was like, I'm just gonna do it on stream. I don't know why I'm so tight. Like, if this is awful and isn't a good idea on stream, I'll never do it again. But I just want to see. Oh, hello, baby. Look. Again, my cat. She jumped up here. Come here. Oh. This is Diamond. Say hi, Diamond. Say meow. Can you say hi? See your beautiful face? She looks so angry, but she's purring. Here you go, baby. Fatmond. She's so cute. She's my little cow baby. Say meow. She's usually really vocal too, but not right now. Okay, I'm just gonna go to the Carrot account. Something I do every day. Don't worry about me. Okay, this is the thread that I wanted to see. What did the Carrot say first? How many times has Carrot been on my stream? We talked about Carrot like the other day too. Whatever, it's fine. This is important. Kiss her from me. Love you, Diamond. I gave her a little pat on the butt. That should suffice. Chim scared her, exactly. Otherwise, she would have stuck around. The path of the creative is one where you bet your soul. This thread really cut into me, especially after this year and the rut I've yet to pull myself out of. Our Wonderland really contains the whole of my soul. It is my everything, and since launch, I've been trying to convince myself that it all mattered. Oh, you responded to this, Darrell. Hey! But I wanted to read the original thread because I didn't get to see it yet. I think a lot of people don't really understand just how much risk there is in being a creative, and I don't mean that you're going to have a terrible earning potential or make time investment with minimal ROI. I actually don't know what that means. I mean that creatives are damaged by their craft in ways that takes something out of you. Okay, this is why I wanted to read it. Let me stop this fucking music. This is not helping with the tone. I don't know what the tone is, but it's not helping. The reason when I saw it, I was like, it reminded me of my time with Lord of Lies, which I think is the most I've ever put into a project, and it's kind of changed me as a creator. Like, not to be dramatic, but like it has, and I think this is an important discussion point. And it might help somebody else with advice, you know, in case they're going through something similar or will unfortunately go through something similar. So, okay. I have a friend who's a multi-disciplinary artist who excelled at music, art, and programming as well, and he used these talents to make video games. Our last collaboration was a game about the ghost of a girl taking vengeance on Japanese soldiers during the colonial period. Considering he solo dev'd this project and I only helped with the narrative design, it was an amazing game, but when the project failed commercially, which was his third big attempt at an indie game, he shut himself away from the world. He cut off contact with everyone, including me. Another friend, a filmmaker, kept his passion for film alive by making short films here and there. Never saw a lot of success. The last and biggest attempt he tried for was when he really liked my short story and wanted to adapt it, so I wrote the screenplay and we got a film crew together. He funded it with his own money, taking debts, and in my opinion, I think that the film was beautiful. I'm biased, sure, but even so, I think it deserves some attention. But it got no attention. The festival we did get accepted to was canceled because of COVID. Oh, that fucking sucks. And no other festivals offered a spot. And of course, it's competitive to get in, and there are other ways to show it, but this was a path that he really wanted to go into. He wanted to become a film director, and then he gave up film, became a totally different person, completely unrecognizable, and by that, I know the failure cut him deeply. And these are just two stories that I have among many. I've known writers, poets, painters, actors, broken and shattered. Unlike anybody I've known in other fields, I've seen so many startup founders tank millions into their startup, happily walk into failure, then start again with a smile. Failure just seems to hit creatives so differently, so devastatingly. I've thought about this because I often feel this way too, and maybe it's because the path of a creative is one where you bet your soul, essentially, and that's why you come out irreversibly broken and on the other end. Not to mention how we live in a world where creatives receive pitiful rewards for Herculean efforts, where people repeatedly remind us that we're not necessary, we're not doctors, we're not engineers, we're not necessary for society. Even now, they wave AI in our face and say we're all expendable. But to hell with that, they say. To hell with it all. I salute all of you creatives. I hope you don't give up. I hope you create everything you dream to create. And at the end of the day, know that in doing the work alone, you've already done something that is indispensable to the human soul. That was beautifully written as well. Honestly, like, okay, I had a feeling that I was going to resonate with this in some way or form, and I definitely do, especially in regards to, I think something that wasn't said here, I mean, it was said, but it wasn't said in the exact way, of course, I would say it, was that I think failure hits creatives so hard because it basically, it's you. You know, if you fail and it doesn't receive the worth you think it deserves, then therefore it means you're a failure. It means that there's something wrong with you fundamentally. Like, whether you're not talented enough, whether you're just not committed enough, whether you just don't have what it takes, that kind of whole idea, you know. And then, of course, the necessary thing, you know, which I would argue any day of the week, and I'm sure everybody would argue, is that art is always going to be necessary. There's never going to be a world or a time like the one that we're in that's never going to need art. Okay, people will seek it. It's like I told my husband. I remember saying, like, this is a dark way of putting it, but like if an apocalypse or something were to happen, or like something maybe a little less, like a blackout, you know, where like we just don't have internet access anymore. Let's say I lose all my games tomorrow. Like, God forbid, you know, let's not put that in the air. But like, you know, if something devastating like that were to happen, I would not stop creating. Like, first of all, it's a fundamental piece of who I am. I don't think I could ever just not do it. You know what I mean? But then also, in that same vein, it's people will need it. When there is nothing else, everybody will always seek entertainment. Art is not a thing that can ever just be, like, expunged. It's like an energy, you know, to be entertained, to entertain is a part, and not that art only entertains. It does a great many things. But, like, for me, personally, I will always seek some sort of personal fulfillment and entertainment for my own work, and I would want to give people peace of mind, or to disturb their peace, give them something to contemplate, to think about that isn't everything else. You know what I mean? And that's why art is necessary. Art calms and it disrupts. It it gives you answers and it gives you questions. It's the end, it's the beginning, it's everything. It's an essential part of being a human being, and it's something AI will never be able to replicate. Not that that's a crazy idea, but apparently it is. It's like you could never replicate the human experience and putting that into your work. And to do it in a skillful way using many different mediums and genres and collaborations and people and experiences, that is something AI will never be able to touch, Now, in regards specifically to feeling like a failure with your work, okay, I've said and been very vulnerable about it, and even feel a little guilty for feeling that way, is I almost quit VN Dev earlier this year. Like, it was, I said it publicly on YouTube. The video is still there. Like, it was when I was talking about the Rectifier in Bloom update. I was going to release Rectifier in Bloom, and I was going to take a step away. I was going to do something completely different. I was going to still be creating. I was going to probably write a book or make a comic or learn art, or I was always going to create. That was always going to be a thing. But I didn't want to do game dev anymore because I felt like I was playing a game I couldn't win. Not that you need to win in art, but for me, I think I do need some sort of confirmation that I'm doing something important. That I'm not just spinning in a circle, that my work does mean something to somebody, even if that person's just me. And for a while, I felt like I'd already done, I think because I had like 5 games at that point, 6 games, whatever. I was like, well, I made a game for myself. That was TNT. I succeeded. You know what I mean? And then after that, it became, okay, how do I build an audience? How do I get people to see TNT? Hello, kitty. How do I keep the momentum going? And then obviously, like, I'm an artist who wants to make money off their art. I don't think that's a crazy idea. I think other people value that. We all gotta eat, that kind of thing, Let me take a second. Honestly, it's difficult to relate because, well, I have never put myself in debt for a game, etc. I pour parts of my soul into them, parts I need to somehow release before they explode in my chest, but I've never really engaged that much of my life, so that's why what would make me feel like a failure is game failing on an artistic standpoint, rather than anything regarding actual success, but I know that's a very specific mindset to have. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's goal and why they do art and what they want out of it is completely different. But I think, well, I've gone in debt for my games. Well, not in debt, but like I lost a job because of Lord of Lies. I wanted to complete it so bad. And like, this is not to guilt anybody. This is my own personal thing. It might have been a fuck up on my end, but I kind of don't regret it because it's like, I just know how far I'll go for my art. I know the things, and like, I've risked my health. I risked a lot of things with Lord of Lies, and that's why I've done better as a result of that. Like, I have not gone back to doing those really problematic habits. I mean, I have an entire post-mortem talking about my specific experience with Lord of Lies, again, on video. Damn, do I have a video for everything? Jesus Christ, I am an influencer. Okay. But like, on a real note, I don't want anybody to ever have to replicate what I did, because it was a very scary thing that affected my mental health, my financial health, my relationship, for my art. That's how much it means to me, and I think for some people, they're like me, and they're like, hey, if you just put everything in, that means that you'll get a lot out. And unfortunately, that's just not true. It was something that I believed, and I was taught that that's not true. Lord of Lies is my worst performing game. It's my worst performing game. And that's not even to say that it's worst performing in a way that's like that bad or anything like that, or that even matters, okay? But that my ideology of going, if I just do what I think I'm supposed to do with the game, if I just pour my soul into this, then it's all gonna pay off. That's just not true. It's not. Unfortunately, the real truth behind it is that there is no one way to do it. There's no one way to success. There's no one way to get good. Like, obviously, to make good work and to put good work out there is worth doing. And it's going to probably mean something to somebody, and then the word will spread and it'll kind of do the work for you. I mean, there are things that probably will work, but there's also just as many cases of just like, a 50 Shades of Grey that sucks ass and is problematic, but it still pops off, and manages to do a lot. You know what I mean? And that's just one example. But of course, there's plenty of other things we can think of. Hence why, remakes are such a constant thing right now in art. Because nobody wants to take a chance. Because to take a chance means there's a chance of failing, and that means that you're going to have to deal with it. I see myself as a stronger creator for having done something so crazy and have done all that and got nothing in return and survived that. Because at one point during Lord of Lies, I was like, oh no, this is going to pop off. This is going to be my, you know? And it's like, if I had told my past self that now and be like, hey, your game's going to perform like shit and it's not going to really reflect all the work you put into it, I think she would have really been sad about that. Whereas now I can kind of just laugh about it because it's just, fuck it, bro, that's life. I learned something. And like, because I'm working into trying to make commercial projects and things like that where I could probably pour my soul back into it again, and there is a chance of failing, because I believe Rectifier and Bloom, and Rectifier specifically, will succeed. I believe they will have fully funded Kickstarters. I believe they will, you know, help me break even, you know, put food on the table, things like that. Like, I do believe it has the capacity to do that, and if I'm proven wrong, it's gonna really suck, and it's gonna be another instance in which I was proven wrong, and I'm just gonna have to now live with that truth and find a new truth and find something else. And having to do that experiment over and over again is just what art is, unfortunately. You know, there is no right recipe for it. If there was, everybody would be using it and being successful, but there never is going to be that, because it can't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And so I have to play in this game where I feel like the odds are constantly stacked against me, and I might have like things I can do to maybe be more successful or whatever, but it means sacrificing what I actually want to do. So ultimately, what I've walked away with is, I think there needs to be a marriage between the two. I need to be able to do what I want to do so I can continue to keep doing it and not hurt myself in doing it, you know, and try to make games that appeal to people, you know, so that people want to pick them up. And hopefully it's like I can almost like trick them, you know, I like bribe them with like all the hot boys, but then I bring them into like a story that really means something specifically to me. And by that point, it's too late, you know what I mean? Like, I know that sounds kind of malicious, but I think that's just how most art kind of works. At least like some of the art that I've experienced. But if I were to make a game to feed myself, let's be honest, I'd be devastated too. Yeah. That one project that almost fucking killed me changed my mindset as a canon event. Yep. It was Let's Get Bitter Together for me, which, you know, there's kind of an ironic thing there with like the naming there. We got bitter together, didn't we? And like, I think I went on a rant, and I really want to make this clear. My last game was my best performing game ever. It outperformed every other game that I have currently. And I would like to continue that trend, obviously. I think everybody wants that. But I only spent a month and a week on that fucking game, okay? And I kind of made it spitefully as like, what if I made an Otome game that was NSFW and had a really hot demon guy that like most people are attracted to and all this different stuff, but then I also did what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? Tell a feminist story with an older character, you know, with a very specific like set of things that I also want. So it's like marrying the two together, and it fucking worked. And like, I knew it was gonna work. I knew it before I even did it. And then to be proven, it's like every day that I wake up and I look at my analytics or something, I'm proven again and again that this is all I had to do. You know what I mean? Like, I could have done this with Lord of Lies and it'd be way better off, you know, that kind of thing. But shoulda, coulda, woulda, whatever. The thing that hurts is just like how I know where I was, and I know how badly I wanted this story and how much more it means to me. Like, if you were to put them side by side, Lord of Lies is just a better story. You know, it means something. Whereas like Carved in Stone, it means something, but it's like kind of a generic sort of message, and you know, it's fine. It's palatable, I guess. And it's like, it's hard to really make what you want to make and then also have your numbers reflect that. And then you tie it to your self-worth and it becomes a whole thing. But I didn't quit. I had great friends. I have changed my mindset. I have learned. I've grown. You know, I'm still learning. I'm still growing. And I started a new studio with a good friend of mine. And it's not about the analytics. It's about what we want. Doesn't matter what the numbers say. Doesn't matter if it's a failure, quote unquote. To me, I used to say all the time with TNT, because I feel like I came into indie deving with the right mindset, was that like the only way that I fail is if I look back on it and I go, that was a waste of time. That wasn't very good. I didn't learn anything from that. That was miserable. You know, those are failures. To not get something positive out of the experience would be a failure. You know, and Lord of Lies in some ways was kind of close to that. I mean, the only saving grace was that I was pretty happy with the end product after everything. But if I wasn't, then it would have kind of been considered a failure, because what did I fucking get out of it? I lost a job, I nearly lost my relationship, like, my mental health took a fucking all-time low, like, what was the point, you know what I mean? But I got lucky, and I'm never gonna make that mistake again, because it was bad. Again, post-mortem if you want to know more details. But, you know, honestly, for me, I felt quite depressed around the summer of 2022 after I released the demo for The Stories of the Boys I Loved, and quite ironically, Kawaii-chan. And I guess the game that's the accumulation of that is High School Alita. I would spend every single moment I had on this game. I took 1 month of vacation just to develop it because I had to. And ever since, I felt like my writing has changed. That's something I've noticed working on Order Me, rewrite Something Really Happened. Yes, honestly, I think a recipe to success for games is sincerely SFW Tomy dating sub, bonus of personalized pro tag, and you can make it yaoi too. Lol. But I mean, is that all I want to create? No. Yeah, and Rectifier was able to do kind of all those things. Actually, all of those things. And so it'll probably be successful for that. But it's also what I want. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's nice to have both, but how often is that going to be the case? Sometimes I just want to make shit that appeals to nobody but me, you know, or people like me. If I stepped away from VNs and came back to interactive fictions that I've begun my journey with, because I knew I'm going to burn out if I force myself to make VNs all the time, not going to lie. I'm taking more care for myself right now, I guess. Yeah, and that's where I was. And for a while I was like, well, I think the problem with me too is that I can't create without sharing it. I think for me, half of the process for me specifically for creating is I have to see people react to my work. I didn't write this joke in just so I don't get to hear people laugh at it. I didn't put this very attractive character not to hear somebody fawn and get all blushy and stuff over it. Like, not that everybody needs to make a playthrough of my games or anything, but like, sometimes I just need a review or a rating. I need to know that this had an impact, that it happened, that it wasn't just a number on a screen. You know what I mean? Not that just like, oh, somebody downloaded it. Who knows what they did with it? Maybe they downloaded it and it's been sitting on their computer for 10 years. I have no clue. There's no way of knowing. And that's the closest I'll ever get to like really feeling like I've accomplished what I want to do with art. And I've been lucky enough to have that experience more lately, but you know, obviously I want more, and maybe I just can't be satisfied. I don't know. Maybe it's the kind of thing that like, we're getting closer. Like, and I never want to seem ungrateful, but it would be a lie. I would be a disingenuous creator and a person to be like, there have been just some shitty times when creating that I'm not happy with. And I want to be a better creator, and I want to be and curate a space in which people get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? They have their own and honestly, you guys sharing your stories makes me feel better, because it doesn't make me feel like this fucking freak who's like just did a stupid thing. And it's like, it's kind of stupid in retrospect, but it wasn't stupid at the time. You know, I was so genuinely enthralled with the idea, and I just like, I could not live with the thought of like failing myself. You know, there was so much on the line that I put for myself for Lord of Lies, and I succeeded. Despite everything, despite all the horrible setbacks, I succeeded. And that's something that has changed me forever as a creator. Like, it's made me so much stronger. It's made everything in comparison seem easier. You know, it might have emboldened me to do a Kickstarter this year, to do Rectifier and Bloom, to do this, to do that. Like, maybe I would have never done any of that without it. There's no way of really knowing. But I have to be grateful for the experience. Otherwise, it was like actually a waste. And like, obviously I have the game to show for it. Let's not be, you know, BRB, water drink, water y'all. Yeah. And like, interactive fiction is probably less popular compared to VN, so I might not get as much attention, but also it's healthier for me. I'm writing the same project since April and sharing little snippets with people close to me in secret, and maybe nobody will give a damn, but I'm having fun, so it's worth it, even for those 2 people who are following my development process. Abso-fucking-lutely. That's an audience. It doesn't matter how big the audience is, and to have 2 people care about you is more than anybody would have if they never finished their work, you know? And 1 dedicated person is worth like 10 people who download your games. I mean, absolutely. Kudos, reviews, any kind of expressed love is so necessary. People need to understand that creators won't create without feedback. I mean, and I don't want to be the person who's like, I only create for feedback, but damn does it help. Okay? Damn does it help to know that it meant something to somebody, you know? And I am grateful for the people who have, and I'm grateful for the people who show up and they tell me, you know, and I want to be that person too. I can't just be like, oh, well, I want people to play my games and all. I gotta be that person too. You know, I have to be the person who goes out, plays the games, talks about them, leaves reviews, leaves ratings. Otherwise, you know, like, then I'm just sitting here begging like a little bitch. You know, like, it's important to do that, especially in an indie space. You know, because it's like, I've done writing for money. And if that writing, and look, it changes, okay? For instance, I just wrote like 50K for somebody, and I made a lot of money off of all that. And that's great. That's wonderful. I'm so glad I could do that. I'm so glad I have that opportunity. However, I don't give a fuck if nobody ever reads that. I don't care if people say it sucks. You know why? Because I got something out of it. I got money. It fed me. It fed my family. It gave me money to fund my own projects. You know, I got something out of it at the end of the day. Whereas, like, if you're making shit for free and you're only putting money into it and you're only putting time, you get nothing out of it if you don't get some sort of praise or self-fulfillment from it. You know, it's gotta be a mixture of both. It's gotta be something, you know? And, like, I don't think I'm a bad person for wanting that. I don't think that's an unfair thing to ask for. And I'm not, this isn't me begging for people to play my fucking games. I also don't want people to play my games out of obligation. If my games aren't interesting, you know, I need to work harder. I have to market better. I need to write stories that appeal to more people, whatever. It's also on me. It's not just a purely just like, oh, well, the audience just needs to play my fucking game. No one is entitled to play your game. Time is a precious resource that I am grateful to have had. Okay, but like, I believe that I'm a good creator, and I believe that my stories mean something to somebody. So if it seems like something that will resonate with you in some way or another, just give me a shot. Doesn't have to be today, doesn't have to be tomorrow. Can be 10 years from now. It's not going anywhere, you know, but I do appreciate that. It means the world, and I will do the same thing in return. You know, it's interesting for me. Like, that's why I want to do this New Year's resolution of playing all these games next year. There are way too many games out there. You know, I'm so glad that I got to play some that I got to play this year, but I can't just rely on, oh, well, I can only stream it. Otherwise, that's the only way I'm going to play it. No, I need to make time for them. Okay? Art is in a place right now, it's almost kind of in jeopardy, like, not to be dire, but it's like, because of AI, it's really, really important that we acknowledge that the art here is worth having and needs to be supported more than ever, you know, because it's just too easy to replace us with fucking ChatGPT or something. And it's like, I can never be replaced with ChatGPT, and none of you can either, you know, and that goes for anybody. Our Wonderland it's always our Wonderland. Our Wonderland could never, in a million years, be recreated by AI in anything adjacent to it. Never. Nor would I ever even see it if it did. Because fuck AI. But, like, also, you know, clearly our work still means something. Otherwise, people would not be paying for it. Okay? They wouldn't be trying to save a buck if it didn't mean anything. Yes, obviously, nothing wrong with NSFW games, but, like, for example, The Life I Lost performs very well for my standards. But, like, because it has the pregnancy tag, and this tag is used for inflation fetish games, so that's confusing. Yes, especially if it's mutual hyping. It's funny that Butter was talking about something completely different, but it sounded like they were responding to what you were saying. Oh yeah, same. I wouldn't blame people to not try a game, especially since mine tend to be on the more sensitive side. Exactly. I had someone 1-star my entire Primary Lights trilogy because they expected sexy themes and got depictions of sexual trauma instead. The NSFW tag is a double-edged sword. That's so frustrating. Fuck, those 1-star reviews that don't even say shit on them piss me off so bad. Okay, like, it, like, will ruin my morning. See one that pops up without fail. Okay, bitch, you do it. You do what I'm doing. You could never. That's why you could sit there and give me a 1-star review. Yes, I'm bitter, you know, but, like, I'm also real. Dang, that's just horrible. Yeah, it is. It's the fucking worst. ChatGPT will never be as gay as me. It fucking wishes it could do what I could do. 13-year-old me could do more than fucking ChatGPT did. Again, I have proof of it. I read my 13-year-old or 12-year-old story on stream, and it was incredible. Like, was it awful? Yes. But was it incredible? Also, yes. Also, the fast consumerism people don't have the attention span anymore. They skip on awesome stuff. Yeah. Look, I love TikTok just as much as the next girl. I quote a TikTok every time I fucking breathe, it seems like. And like I do love short form content and all that, but like my attention span has been like shattered a little bit. And I need to get back into reading and long form fiction because there's nothing quite like it in the world. You know what I mean? And our Wonderland was a lot, you know, but like at the same time, no, it wasn't, because if something's good, it doesn't matter. You wish it was longer. It's like what people say with One Piece, and I'm also one of those people. It's like, it's so good. You watch it, yeah, it's 1,000 episodes plus, but it's like, it's also not long enough because it's just that good. Yes, your masterpiece that you should turn into a Via. Like, Genesis will come back in some way, shape, or form. I don't know how, I don't know when, but when the time is right, she will return. Can ChatGPT do this? Start steering up over Google Doc. Can ChatGPT do this? That's so funny. We should say that more. Can ChatGPT do this? Imagines the best yandere scenario ever that tears my heart apart? Yeah. It couldn't. It won't. It won't. And you realize, I mean, there's something kind of, what's the word? There's something kind of reassuring that, you know, when you remember that AI is based entirely off of humans. If humans didn't exist, it wouldn't be shit. What does it reference? Humans. What is it like? What does it get? Humans. Our failures, our goods, everything. Like but it can't take the soul. It can't have whatever you want to replace the soul with. It can never take that. You can never import that into anything, you know? AI is there it's meant to help people. Technology is always there meant to help people, never to replace them. That's, I think, where everybody fucking loses the picture. It's like, I think AI would be super cool to help, you know, programmers get more shit done. You know, it's a tedious process. Help us with the tedious process. This keeps us from doing the things that are actually fun and meaningful. You know what I mean? But don't do the job. I don't know why any artist, that's why AI artists are like, it's a fucking insane thing to say. I'm an AI artist. It's like, are you though? Because I feel like artists enjoy art. Like, crazy idea, but it's kind of like the main ingredient in that to be an artist is to actually enjoy what the fuck you're doing. And you're not writing a prompt into something is not art. Sorry. Hate to dictate what is and what isn't, but that's not, if there was, that's not it. You're wrong. Can you tell I care about this topic? Quite a bit. But like, we're not expendable, and they just want to save money. And the good news is AI sucks ass right now. It sucks so much ass. It's so bad. You see that shit in a game, you want to puke. You know, you like, and unfortunately I've seen AI in fucking indie games, and not a fan. Not a fan. Hopefully those get a bunch of 1-star reviews. And AI writing sucks complete ass. That shit is the most repetitive nonsense. Actually, let me find this YouTube video that I watched just the other day of why AI writing is bad. Well, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of essays, but there was this one. AI writing is trash, but AI writers will never notice. Watch this. This shit is so good. Also, this is their first video that they produced, and it's banger. Like, it's so good. Sorry to blind you, by the way, with shifting to the dock like that. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I watched it. It's so good. Yes, it is. It popped up on my For You page, and then I watched it, and it's only like less than 30 minutes, so definitely give it a watch. They're like, I'm an artist, and their process is generate white woman beautiful big breast pinup pros. I didn't say it, but also, yeah. Oh, this one, yes, it's so good. I subscribed like immediately. I think they also worded it in a very like nuanced way. I feel like everybody can say kind of the same thing, but it's dependent on how people say it. I will tonight. You should. Let me know. Subscribe. I'm shilling for this person I've never met, but hey, good shit is good shit. So yeah, that was what I wanted to talk about with the thread. I think it was a good discussion. For fun, a while ago, I gave AI the premise of Water Lily of the Froth and asked it to make a plot out of it, and just chose to make it a story about the authenticity of love with everyone learning a lesson. Hello, ChatGPT. It's a grooming story. Why is your conclusion Chris should be authentic with his feelings? Yeet. Generate me like one of your French girls. That's so good. Oh, I watched the video. Did you really? Damn. All right. Y'all really are me. What the hell? They're like, yeah, I've already seen that. Not me feeling like I discovered a hidden gem. We know what G in GPT stands for now. That's so true. Oh, Lord. Let me get a drink of water. Kind of went on a rant there for a second. I don't know if you guys noticed. Also, in that video, I remember a lot of please shut the fuck up, Joy. No, I was joking. You didn't say that. I'm saying that. Let me look up the video again, because in the comments, I remember it was making me feel like a lot better. Because sometimes I get all doom and gloom about... I literally just was on it, but I'm just gonna mute it real fast. But the comments were really good. Text-to-speech is god-tier editing tool, even for non-dyslexic. When you write, a lot of the time your brain just papers over some mistakes because it knows how it should be. A computer doesn't have that bias. Yep, I mean, it can't hear how the fuck it sounds. That's actually a really great point. Some things I don't even think about, but they're all good points of why AI is fucking useless. Oh, saving the beauty for later. I just noticed Catania and Grooving both start with the same letter. Same for Chris and Child. Crazy. Insane, some might say. I genuinely don't understand why you give up writing and still want to be a writer. It's like he wants to be an editor only for a few select stories. Exactly. AI is nirvana for those people who think writing and making art is an unskilled chore and don't realize that their own lack of skill is exactly what makes them think it's good. Skill issue, literally. I think that one is the one that, like, to be an artist, even if you're not like a great one, that's why I said my 13-year-old self can do fucking laps around AI, okay? Because what I could do with 13 is something a fucking supercomputer could never still do. That's how incredible artists are, okay? Like, if you've made a stick figure somewhere in your sketchbook, congratulations, you've done more than a supercomputer could do, because they couldn't do it on their own. They had to use the crutch of thousands of other people who've done it before. It's cheating. Like, you're competing against somebody who's just cheating. That's it. And there is no competition because it fucking sucks. My broken English from 2016 still bodies AI. Exactly. I respect just launching into your first video and successfully making people assume they stumbled on an established channel. Yeah, to be honest, that's not really relevant to the discussion, but it's what I said. I want AI to do my chores so I can concentrate on my art, not AI doing my art so I don't have time for my chores. Say it louder for the people in the back. Like, it should be making it easier for us to do the things that we want to do, not competing with us. Stupid bitches. Shit's getting me mad. It's gonna be bad. I'm angry. But hey, if you needed a little pick-me-up, hopefully that did something for you. Or if you just needed to hear that I'm also just as crazy as you are for nearly killing yourself over your art, we're all in it together, baby. Birds of a feather flock together, that kind of thing. But AI music's a little scary, though. I would really hate to be a musician because I feel like at least the instrumental part of, like, music is pretty easy to just, like, take and recycle and regurgitate over and over again and sound, like, halfway decent. It's, like, it's almost a little scary. And so, like, but there's some music out there that can never be replicated by AI, but, like, at least pop music or, like, kind of, like, the very generic types could be. And that's not fun. I don't like that thought. I'm blocking at least one AI music channel daily, as you fucking should. Somebody should make, like, a master list of all of them on YouTube and then just, like, a block list. I like that Blue Sky gives you, like, a follow list, and then, you know, that's been really helpful. I'm so thankful for Blue Sky, I gotta say it again. I said it kind of for the last stream, or maybe the stream before, but I'm so glad I'm not on fucking Twitter land anymore. Like, oh, it feels so good. It feels so free. Chain breaking image, you know? Block lists are so cool. They are! Oh, it reminds me of the drama that happened with Neko. Oh. Yinny was talking about a specific indie game that had AI in it, and I won't say what it is or the names or anything like that because I'm not trying to slander anybody, but I'm glad that she was able to DM people and make people aware of what games contained AI so we could kind of avoid them. Like, sorry guy, you're gonna have to be shunned a little bit until you can just draw a fucking, use a free background, dog. Get out my fucking face. Use a stock image, I don't care. Like, it's gotta be better than just, six finger hand. Indio told me we were also talking about that there was a Kickstarter, and apparently the team has writers, but they're using a AI tool to generate like the chat specific parts of the game, which that's not great. Yes, like you can do wonders with free resources if you just try. Like, what the fuck, just try. Or I am living proof, okay, that you can make incredible looking games by just popping into people's DMs and asking, hey, would you be willing to draw a couple things for me? And then giving them the references, and then they do it, and then it's in the game. Holy shit. No money spent, no time spent on your part even. Just, hey, would you like to be in a game? Do you want credit? Here you go. Like, that cannot be any more simple. And yet, somehow, I guess typing something in a generator was more important or something. And looks worse. I love the feeling of kicking out games with AI generated content for dying here. Me with, I had to do that with Polyjam. It felt good. It was cathartic as hell. Let's get that shit out of here. And then if they like try to come back and they're like, why do you kick my game? Then you could really nail it in. Yes, like there are people willing to participate in the game for free. Almost every game that I have has like no commission art in it. Almost TNT is one of my best looking fucking games, and that game is free from head to toe, bitch. Like, it's outside of the UI, but like, give me a break. And there's free UI out there. Like, oh my god, it's frustrating as hell. I just want to slap somebody around. I get it, dude. I can't draw either. I'm getting there, but I can't. So like, but it's no reason to go to a fucking... I made free UIs. You did. But yeah, it's crazy. Literally, there are tons of people who want to work with you for funsies in this space. Absolutely. We just want to fucking vibe. Like, I don't know. But we're doing good work, guys. Be the change you want to see in the world. And that's all I can do at the end of the day. I can't control who uses it and who doesn't. I can just control what I make and hope that it means something in the long run. And that for years to come, it's not seen as just like ugly or stupid. Which is the least eloquent way I probably could have said that ever. But you know what? It's just a testament. I'm getting hungry. Stream has been over for a little bit, but hey, we went over for a little bit just to chat. We're vibing. No rush. You don't want to rush a good time. But I do not like to stream too much longer past 3 hours because it starts to hurt my voice because I talk too much. So I hope to stream tomorrow. Like I said, I'm not gonna say that I will because it's like a 50-50 right now of like will I, won't I, because I have a busy weekend. Christmas is like right around the corner. I got a lot of wrapping and hanging out with my mom and shit I gotta do, so work's gonna take a little bit of a backseat to the holidays, which is better than last year's joy already. But I'll be back with the work streams. I don't know when they'll be, but I'm not going anywhere. I don't have a fucking job, so I'll be back, trust and believe. But if we don't talk before Christmas or any holiday that takes place around it, happy holidays to you. Have a great one. Thanks for dropping by for the streams for either the last couple of days or for today or for wherever in the future. I do appreciate it more than you know, whether you're a lurker or somebody who just yaps just as much as I do. Chime. Whoever you are, I'm thankful for you, and I appreciate you stopping by and just hanging out with me. It's been a good time. And also having good discussions, which I feel like makes me feel better. It's kind of therapeutic in its own way. Am I using my stream just as therapy and a way to get shit done? Maybe. Is that wrong? Who's to say? But anyway, everybody gets to look at my pretty end screen. Hold up. Look at my pretty end screen. Okay, stream is over. And wait, can you hear me? Okay, yeah, you can hear me. The music might be loud as hell. I'm sorry if it's really loud. I didn't mean it. I'm turning it down. Okay. Oh, pink. Yes, exactly. Butter. So, oh. Wait. Before everybody goes, hold up. I just remembered. So, I mentioned on a stream before. I don't know if it was last stream or the one before. Doesn't matter. I talked to my mother because she's interested in playing Rectifier and Bloom, and I need to go back over it so I can write down all the writing specific errors and things like that. And I was like, I wonder if I can have my mom, like, if I could record her playing it and how she would feel about that, because we talked about it a long time ago and she didn't seem to mind. And I talked to her about it last night and I was like, Mom, how would you feel about that? And she's like, do I have to show my face? And I was like, absolutely not. And then she was like, I'm in. And I was like, hell yeah, girl, let's fucking do it. So she's off next week because school is out. Anyway, school's out, and so she doesn't have to work for Christmas break that time. So I think next week or over the weekend or something like that, I'm going to convince her to play with me, and we're probably going to do like a let's play thing. And then, so it'll be pre-recorded. I'm going to put it on stream, and then I'm going to watch it on stream. Does that make sense? It's my way of streaming it without having her be on stream, because I don't really want my mom to have to be on stream. I feel like that's a little, yeah, you get it. So I'm going to do that. Might be really fun. So it'll either be a work stream next or reacting to my mom reacting to Rectifier stream, which if you want to see an older woman or hear an older woman reacting to a dating sim for the first time because she's never played any dating sims ever, stay tuned, have fun. It also could be your way of experience Rectifier if you don't want to have to play it for yourself. Might do the hard work for you. Plus you get some fun behind the scenes stuff from me. You know, maybe I can get Keeney involved in some way. It could be a fun time. You know, we'll see. Anyway, so yes, Joy Mom, hopefully next week, hopefully over this weekend. I'll keep you all updated. Just follow me on Blue Sky. Do all the good things. Anyway, bye guys. I hope you have a great day. Hope you got work done. Bye-bye. End screen time. Again. For real this time.